Another beautiful afternoon at Sinsheimer Stadium on the central coast of California. It's the San Luis Obispo Blues playing against the California Expos for game number 7 on the season. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ancient Owl pregame show on the SLO Blue Streaming Network. My name is Nate Mills. On the call tonight, Ryan Giacomini will be joining me later. I'm Ryan Solov today for this pregame show. San Luis Obispo, as I said, playing in their 7th game of the season. It's their last one right before conference play. On Tuesday and Wednesday, they will head up to Sonoma County and play against the Sonoma Stompers, their CCL North foe. And it's going to be a good challenge for San Luis Obispo, playing against some non-conference opponents that still have a lot of high school guys on their roster, a couple of JUCO players still trying to make a name for themselves. The competition's about to get upticked a little bit more, and that's good news for us as well. There's going to be a little bit more structure to the league, too. We're going to get a better idea of what the rosters are going to look like. The final guys are going to start to trickle in for San Luis Obispo and for other teams as well. Sonoma has already played some games. They're like the Blues in that they play the non-conference opponents well before the CCL league action gets underway. So another tune-up game for the Blues as they get set to go up north to play against the Sonoma Stompers. But for now, standing in their way is the California Expos. The Blues got a win last night over California, an 8-1 victory, and it was some timely hitting that brought them to that mark. The Blues bats were pretty quiet for the first 2 innings, but saw a couple blow-up innings, and San Luis Obispo came out on top. A 2 spot in the 3rd, a 2 spot in the 4th, and then what really took off was when they scored 3 in the 8th inning. And that's all came from a RBI hit by pitch from Brendan Comerford, a sac fly from Gavin Smith, and a RBI double off the top of the wall from Don Jordan. You'd like to see the bats come a little bit more alive today, and we're seeing hard contact from the Blues. They're putting the ball in play, which is also good to see. Not a lot of strikeouts, which is something you'll see a lot in summer ball. Guys kind of swinging for the fences and wanting to send it a long ways and put something on a highlight tape that they can send back to their coaches in the fall. But I like what the Blues are doing, putting nice, decent swings on pitches. They're swinging at the correct pitches. They're not watching a lot of strikes go by, which is very important. The only issue is they're not doing the damage that they are supposed to. Don Jordan capitalized on a pitch, but unfortunately for the nature of Sinsheimer Stadium, the park is so big, it kind of dies because of the thick coastal air coming through right field. Just couldn't go out of the ballpark that time. But hopefully plenty of more moments like that to come for San Luis Obispo as they get ready to face against the California Expos. And on the mound for the Blues this afternoon, it's Hunter Hammond. And he's looking for a nice bounce-back outing after he started against the West Coast Kings in their first game. Hunter Hammond went an inning and 2/3, allowed 7 hits and 7 runs, with only 5 of them being earned, only 1 walk and 1 strikeout. The Kings were all over Hunter Hammond that outing. You'd really like to see him bounce back here for San Luis Obispo, and he was a quality arm through the first few weeks, and it was sad to see him go with the Blues last summer because it was kind of him and Jackson Howell in that rotation, and so he went over to Westmont College and played in his first collegiate season and got a pretty decent amount of starts, some good playing time for the Warriors, and this last outing with the Blues didn't look exactly the same. So a good opportunity for him to turn it around against this California Expos team, who are a part of the Cape of the West, as they like to call it. Sat down with Jamie Cedarquist, the owner of the league, and a great guy. He's sort of talking about the league and how it's built and how they're trying to grow it. And it's kind of games like this against the Blues where it's an opportune time to kind of get your name out there. So I wish him and the California Expos a lot of luck heading into this rest of the season. So Hunter Hammond on the mound. He's looking to have a bounce back. The Blues bats got to get going once again. And there's a new look to today's lineup as well. A familiar face, E.J. Royal, will not be in the leadoff spot tonight for San Luis Obispo. Instead, it's the second baseman, Caden Cuccia, starting things off for the Blues with the sticks. And then Higginbotham batting second. And all these names we'll get into a little bit later, you all have heard before. But a new face, Kosei Suzuki, a center fielder from Japan who prepped in South Australia and now plays junior college in Texas, but now he is committed to play for the Explorers at LaSalle University. LaSalle famously went under in 2021. They cut their baseball program. It was gone for good, and they finally revitalized it, and Suzuki is benefiting off of it. So he will be playing Division I back east in Philadelphia, and Ryan and I will get into a little bit more, but his numbers they're exciting. It should get you excited for the summer with the Blues, but that's a new face in today's lineup. Gabe Vigil is back there catching for San Luis Obispo also. Well, thanks for tuning in to the Ancient Owl pregame show on the SLO Blues streaming network. My name is Nate Mills. We'll be back here for first pitch in a few minutes.
shortstop, wearing number 7, Diego Murillo. And batting ninth for the Blues, the catcher, 24, Gabe Behill. Starting pitcher for the Blues this afternoon, the right-hander from Westmont College, number 27, Hunter Hammond. The Blues are led by Dean Traynor with assistants Brian Traynor, Rene Regulano, Paul Teixeira, Randy Kozar, Scheitz Garcia, and Braden Zeker. Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem today is being sung by a former Blues intern and current Cal Poly student. We would ask that you would please rise and remove your hats as Mark Robinson sings our national anthem. Mark?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Mark Robinson. Here is the defensive lineup for your hometown Blues. In left field, it's Jake Hickson-Bond.
Sunday fun day at Sinsheimer Stadium. The Blues host Game 2 against the California Expos on this beautiful afternoon. And a nice job on the national anthem from our former intern, Mark Robinson, and current broadcaster for the Arroyo Seco Saints, might I add. Got to have a good voice to do that.
Yeah, good to see him here today at the ballpark. They mentioned he was here with us all last summer. You might recognize him from the pregame show.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So pregame show host and also our big personality on social media as well. So good to have him back here in San Luis Obispo. Here's the starting lineup for the California Expos today. Leading it off and playing left, it's Gavin Enns. Kai Butler plays center field and bats second. Right fielder Cam Bowen bats third. Jimmy Martinez DHs and cleans it up in the 4th spot. Caleb Latimer plays short and bats 5th. Justice Laughlin is the first baseman. He'll bat 6th. Gio Chavez, the second baseman, bats 7th. Batting 8th, it's Bradley Gage, and catching, Zane Thornton plays the hot corner and rounds it out in the 9th spot for the California Expos. Now here are the defensive alignment for the San Luis Obispo Blues. Gabe Vigil behind the dish with Brendan Comerford at first. Caden Cuccia over at second base and Brady Alves over at third. Shortstop, it's Diego Murillo with Hickson-Bond left, Suzuki in center, and Don Jordan right with Ashlock DHing this afternoon for the Blues. On the mound for San Luis Obispo, it's Hunter Hammond. And Ryan, I talked about it on the pregame show a bit, but he's really looking for a bounce-back start after that rough Game 1 he had against the West Coast Kings.
Yeah, not his best outing, an inning and 2/3, gave up 7 hits, 7 runs, 5 of them earned, only struck out 1 batter, had a walk as well. So definitely looking for a big bounce back in today's game, and it can help the Blues propel to victory today if he could have a good start.
Every Sunday at Sinsheimer Stadium, we drink mimosas around the ballpark, and the Blues are certainly rising to that occasion as they look like mimosas themselves out on the field. As Gavin Enns steps up in the right-handed batter's box and Rio ready to get underway. Hunter Hammond with the navy blue stirrup stares down his target from the windup. Here's the first pitch. It misses high for a ball. 85 miles an hour. 2:03 p.m. is the first pitch. 72 degrees and sunny this afternoon. Half swing, and it bounces behind home plate for strike one. Hammond's working with the fastball, the changeup, slider, and curve. Stock arsenal for the lanky right-hander from Westmont College. Here's the 1-1. And there's a sweeper missing inside. 2 balls and a strike to Gavin Enns. Enns from Fresno Pacific University as he watches the sweeper in there for a strike. The Sunbird, a rising sophomore and a native of Kingsburg, California. Had it 294 this past season. 2-2. Changeup misses below the zone, fills it up at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Just made 9 starts in his first year of college baseball. No home runs. Drove in 11 runs. 3-2. Taken. Strike 3. Hunter Hammond starts the day off on the right foot with a strikeout looking.
Really good pitch right there. Just clipped the zone and a 3-2 count, able to get the strikeout. Big start to the day for Hammond, as you know, as they mentioned, struggled in the last game he started.
So Hammond gets the K to begin his afternoon. As the first pitch to Kai Butler misses for a ball. Hunter Hammond has matched his total strikeout total from his last outing where he went an inning in 2/3. 1-0, nicely placed fastball in the outer half for a strike. This is Kai Butler, who led off yesterday for the Expos on the 1-1, and a sweeper is swung right through for strike 2. A Cal State LA product, Ryan?
Stop.
It's 2 words. There's an adjective. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back Ks on the 86-mile-an-hour fastball from Hunter Hammond.
Hammond looks a lot sharper today than he did against the Kings, and it's exactly what he needed to start this game with 2 strikeouts and a little bounce back from that rough start he had.
Nice pacing, too. I really like the tempo he's working, and it really feels like he's in a rhythm. Cam Bowen, his first pitch swinging and bounces it to third. Alves gobbles it up and throws it on a hop, and the first baseman Comerford can't glove it. Off the wrist, as it looked like it was a in-between hop for the first baseman Comerford, but it'll go down as an error in the first inning. And again, Ryan, it's just a storyline that the Blues have had a rough time avoiding early on in this season. The errors just keep happening for San Luis Obispo.
Yeah, this infield isn't the best infield to field grounders on, but right there, that's just a classic mistake. You know, not catching the ball has nothing to do with the field.
Here's Jimmy Martinez watching that one inside for a ball.
I think Comerford just wanted me to have to guess what Cal State LA's mascot is.
There's an adjective. Bouncing ball to the shortstop, Murillo. Ryan gets bailed out as they get the force out at second base. 2 strikeouts for Hunter Hammond, and they get the force out at second to retire the side. Heading to the bottom of the first, scoreless, the Slow Blue Streaming Network. Bottom of the first inning at Sinsheimer Stadium. Hunter Hammond with 2 strikeouts and a fielder's choice got out of the first half of the frame. As we introduce you the starting lineup for San Luis Obispo. Caden Cuccia plays second and leads it off. Jake Hicksonbaugh, the left fielder, bats second. Brendan Comerford over at first base, batting third. Mason Ashlock, the DH, batting fourth. Don Jordan plays in right field and bats fifth. Kosei Suzuki playing center field and batting sixth. Brady Alves, the third baseman, bats seventh. Diego Murillo plays short and bats eighth. And Gabe Vigil, the catcher, rounds it out in the ninth spot. Here's a defensive alignment for the Expos. Behind the dish, it's Gage at first, Laughlin Chavez at second, Thornton at the hot corner with Latimer at short. The outfield left to right is Enns, Butler, and Bowen, with Martinez DHing for California. And on the mound for the Expos, it's the big right-hander at 6'6", Austin Pasma. Pasma getting his first start of the summer after playing in his first year of college baseball at Fresno City College with the Rams. Just made 5 appearances there and in 4 innings of work. Had 5 strikeouts to 6 walks and 5 earned runs. First pitch is in there for a strike to Caden Guccia. And this is the first time we've seen Cuccia in a Blues uniform leading it off for San Luis Obispo. That's a spot typically taken by none other than E.J. Royal.
Yeah, different look in the lineup today for Dean Traynor, as it's the last day for a bunch of our 2-week guys.
Cuccia off the end of the bat to the second baseman Chavez, who charges it, and the throw is offline. They go with an error on the second baseman Chavez. And the Blues will take it, just get a base runner on, just get some traffic going on the base paths.
Yeah, Caden Cuccia flies down that line, made the play really tough for Chavez. Chavez just had to throw on the run, sidearm action, and it was offline. A good play by Laughlin to just catch it and then try to apply a tag on Cuccia's back, but Cuccia was already past him and through the base.
And Cuccia does look noticeably quicker, I think, too, after that first season at Kenyatta College. Here's Jake Hicksonbaugh, who shows bunt, pops it up. It lands, and the pitcher bobbles it and can't get the throw to first. Pasma frustrated as he smashes his fist into the glove, and it goes down as a base hit for San Luis Obispo. Bit of a quirky way to start off this game offensively for the Blues, but nonetheless, runners on first and second for Brendan Comerford.
Brendan Comerford, 10 RBIs through the first 6 games of the summer. Has an opportunity to add on to that with 2 on and nobody out.
Comerford, the first baseman, is a Gonzaga commit from Ohlone College, coming off a second-team South Coast Conference season where he was also the team MVP. Deep sigh from Pasma as he kicks and deals, and the first pitch is hit off the end of the bat to the second baseman again. Flip to second for 1 and on to first, not in time. They force out Hicksonbaugh at second base, and Cuccia advances to third. Runners at the corners now for the Blues.
Not exactly the result you were looking for, just back up the middle, but not hit very well. And Comerford did a good job to just charge down the line and make sure it wasn't a double play. Blues still threatening with one of our player of the game yesterday, which we have a new name for, Nate.
That's right. Dog of the day. Dog spelled D-A-W-G. That's how we roll around here. Runners at first and third. And Ashlock leaves that one inside for ball 1. Mason sure knows a thing or two about bringing in runs. He cashed in 46 this past season as a Coyote at Weatherford College in what was just a ridiculous season. 575 slugging in 46 games played, 134 at-bats. Late on a heater here, fouls it up and out of play, a ball and strike. He committed to Nebraska, who famously won the Big Ten tournament this season in baseball and actually just got eliminated not too long ago in their regional. And decommitted a few days ago. Will enter his name on the portal, which opens up tomorrow. 1-1, and Ashlock spits on a changeup below the zone, 2 balls and a strike.
A couple of Blues players will be entering the portal tomorrow, and then, using this summer as an opportunity to get recognized and find a new home for spring 26.
It's exciting to see those guys build their resumes, getting up close on that. Ashlock gets underneath this one and softly hits it up to Bowen and right, who gets under it, tagging from third and coming in to score is Cuccia. The throw is well offline. Sacrifice fly for Mason Ashlock, and the Blues strike first in the first inning.
Very interesting run for the Blues. Error a bunt base hit, a fielder's choice, and then a sacrifice fly, but they'll take it. They lead 1-0.
A little unorthodox. It's a little ugly in the scorebook, but the only thing the Blues really care about is that there's a solid square on my scorecard right now. So now here's Don Jordan, who got a piece of one yesterday, almost hit it out of the yard. It was on the top of the fence. Jordan, that was an RBI double in the 8th inning yesterday. Runner goes to second, and he hits it hard up the middle into the outfield. Jordan circles around first on the 2-out single.
95 miles an hour right back at you. Watch your nose. That's the same exit velocity he had on his ball off the top of the wall yesterday. So in 3 straight games, he's hit a ball 95 miles an hour or harder with a bat he's not comfortable with, because that was that pink bomb bat he was waggling up there.
That's right. He used it again. So now here's an exciting name to watch this summer. Kosei Suzuki, a LaSalle commit, Division I baseball program back east. First pitch to him, missing high, 1-0. And Suzuki also had a freakish junior college career at Frank Phillips Community College. A career .327 average, a career .601 slugging, and a .388 on-base percentage.
Yeah, he bangs.
Sure does. Runner at second and first, 1-0 missing inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Hitters count to the Japan native, born and raised in Kuki Tsutayama, Japan. Part of a handful of Japanese-born junior college baseball players in the United States, and he led all of them in hits and home runs this season. Violent swing and a miss here on the 2-0, moving the count to 2 balls and a strike.
Very impressive season for Suzuki at Frank Phillips, and I hope he has a good summer here. I'm already noticing with the videos he had a very closed stance, a little open today, that stance on the right side.
That's right. 2-1, missing low and outside. His count still to Suzuki. And Suzuki, we talked about those power numbers. His .601 slugging is undeniable. 23 college home runs at Frank Phillips. He's only 5'8", 175 pounds. Here's the 3-1. And Suzuki spits on that one outside, and that will load the bases. A 2-out walk. And some traffic for Brady Alves.
Alves played on Friday. Didn't have his best day, 0 for 3, but looking to bounce back today. And good opportunity with the bases loaded and 2 outs to help his team expand the lead early in this game.
Alves, a utility man from Fallon, Nevada, just outside of Reno. Butte Community College infielder, outfielder, who redshirted his first season. First pitch to him, and Alves leaves it high, 1 ball and no strikes.
Got to have a patient approach here. 5 out of his last 6 pitches on the mound, that's past my have been balls.
He really just seemed to fall apart right on the fumbled baseball and the Hicksonball bunt. 1-0 missing high and inside, 2-0.
I would take until I see a strike, honestly. Like, well, there's no reason to swing, and if he's gonna walk you home, that's an RBI for you.
The Blues have been using that business model so far in non-conference play, just very patient at bats, waiting for their perfect one. 2-0. That one won't be it, missing high, 3 balls and no strikes. The issue with that approach for them was that they would wait to get the perfect one and they'd get it and they wouldn't hit it hard. It seems like they're starting to figure it out though. 3-0, down the heart of the plate for a strike.
Yeah, they're starting to figure out that hard hit portion that you mentioned. Blues have just struggled a little bit at times, but the bats are starting to come alive. We're starting to see it more and more. And it's an exciting way to play baseball when it's just being hit hard all around the yard.
And Don Jordan's personified now. 3-1, swung on and missed for strike 2. Brady Alves in his senior season of high school in Nevada batted 408 with 11 doubles and a home run. Drove in 27 as well. Bases loaded, 2 out. Here's the payoff pitch. And Alves swings and pops it high in the air in foul territory on the first base side. The first baseman, Laughlin, comes up with it, and the sign is retired. So the Blues strand the bases loaded, but they strike first on a Mason Ashlock sacrifice fly. 1-0 San Luis Obispo, heading to the second on the Slow Blue Streaming Network. New pitcher into the game for San Luis Obispo. Hunter Hammond with a quick day. Just 1 inning of work, no hits, no runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. I mean, pretty solid bounce back, I'd say, getting those 2 Ks in your 1 inning.
Yeah, very interesting as to why he only threw 1 inning.
Right. And we got a new pitcher on the mound, number 31. We're trying to get you the number as soon as possible as Caleb Latimer puts a bunt down, but won't get to first safely. Nice play by the new right-hander to hurl it over to Comerford in time. 1 pitch, 1 out for the new relief pitcher. So now it's Justice Laughlin, the first baseman, batting 6th today. Justice was 0 for 3 with a hit by pitch in the 9th. Did come around to score the lone run for the California Expos, though. Reached on error in the 2nd of yesterday's game. First pitch to him is in there for a strike. Put the ball in play 3 different times. There's a pop out to Royal and a ground ball to the third baseman, Comerford. Middle of the infield wide open as the left side shifts to his pull side. Sweeper missing low and outside for a ball. Laughlin from Evangel University just played his first season with the Valor. Had his fair share of struggles in 5 starts, batting 172. 1-1. And Laughlin spins it down the first base line and foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 10 strikeouts to his 1 walk. And his 5 hits. 1 was for extra bases. It was a home run. One ball and 2 strikes. Leaves that sweeper outside, 2-2. Spent his sophomore season of college baseball at Porterville Community College, where he was born and raised. 108 at-bats, a .269 batting average there. High bouncing ball behind home plate. Vigil trots over to it. He'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The slugging numbers were significantly higher there at Porterville. 5 doubles and a triple, no homers. This is just being nitpicky, comparing one season to another. Different sample sizes as well. 2-2. Half swing, and it's a spinner to the first baseman, Comerford, who gloves it and flips it over to first in time for the first out of the inning.
Whoever this righty is, he's getting his work cut out for him defensively. He's had to field the ball and throw it to first. Now had to go cover first as Comerford fielded that ball.
So a 1-3 put out and a 3-1 put out to start the 2nd inning, and it's Gio Chavez, the second baseman, batting 7th. Chavez batted 9th last night, played second base as well. Line out to Comerford, who didn't have to move his feet at all. Fly out to Royal and a pop out to Royal, and the recipient of strike 1. Chavez, a commit to Midland University. 0-1. Chavez swings and misses, and it pops out of the glove of Vigil for a strike. 0-2 now to the rising sophomore from Lindsay, California. Announced his commitment a week ago to Midland University after playing 1 season at Porterville College. 0-2. Low and inside, a ball and 2 strikes. At Porterville, 33 hits and 147 at-bats, drove in 11 with 1 home run. From the windup, the right-hander delivers. 1-2 is shot over the Blues dugout. We'll do it again at a ball and 2 strikes. They're still trying to figure out who this relief pitcher is for San Luis Obispo. Not listed on any of our rosters. Here's the 1-2. Fastball just missing outside. They appeal to first. And the right-handed Chavez didn't go around. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Deuces wild in the top of the 2nd inning. 1-0 ball game. The Blues have the lead over the Expos. A sacrifice fly in the last frame. Here's a 2-2. Off the hands and down the right field line. It will be foul. Good fight here from Gio Chavez, trying to give his team a chance with 2 outs. Catcher Bradley Gage due up on deck as he stands in the circle with his shin guards on. Here's the 2-2. Sweeper swung on and missed. Strike 3. Not confident on that hack right there, and you could tell. We head into the bottom of the second inning, Blues up 1. As we remind you, this break is brought to you by our friends at Ancient Owl Beer Garden and Bottle Shop. Second inning is brought to you by Ancient Owl Beer Garden and Bottle Shop, your go-to spot for every Blues road game. Located just around the corner from Sinsheimer, Ancient Owl is the official home of the Blues Watch Party. All season long, Ancient Owl, choose your beer wisely. Ryan, better see you guys out there on Tuesday and Wednesday checking out our stream against the Sonoma Stompers. Leading off the inning for San Luis Obispo, it's Diego Murillo, as he's the recipient of strike one. Following Murillo, it's Gabe Vigil. Back to the top of the order in Caden Cuccia. Austin Pasma still out there for the California Expos. The big 6'6" right-hander comes set and delivers and misses low and outside with the slider. A ball and a strike to Murillo. Diego, a former SLO high school Tiger and a Cuesta College Cougar, now playing at Northeastern State with the Riverhawks. Here's the 1-1. And Murillo watches that one for a strike. A nicely placed off-speed pitch on the outer half. 1-2 to Murillo, who batted .287 this past season. 4 home runs, 2 triples, and 11 doubles. Not too shabby. Here he is on the 1-2. And Murillo watches that cement mixer on the top of the zone. Missing high, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That's a pitch if I were in the box, I probably would have swung it. I mean, that thing was very close to dropping into the zone and being called strike 3.
Looked like Murillo saw the rotation and knew it wasn't going to drop into the zone. That's why it was easy for the take. 2-2. And Diego hits it off the hands and spins it down the right field line and foul. We'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I love coming back to the curveball by Pasma after just missing high. He goes with the same thing but starts it 2 or 3 inches lower. That one did drop into the zone and then got an emergency hack from Murillo.
Diego battling with 2 strikes and a 2-2 count. Blues up 1-0 in the bottom half of the second. Here's the pitch. And Murillo leaves that one outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Diego, with his 32 strikeouts this past season, was hit 10 times and walked 10 times. Spent a lot of time with the trainer getting ice. 3-2. Murillo rolls inside for ball 4. Leadoff walk to the shortstop for the Blues. And a runner on first to begin the second inning. Second walk of the day for San Luis Obispo's offense. And it's Gabe Vigil. Vigil, also a SLO high school Tiger. And a grand slam hitter this past season. How about that?
How about that?
It's a great feeling. First pitch. Vigil watches it for a strike. Pasma, the big right-hander, gets the fastball up in the upper 80s, around 86 miles an hour. Fastball, curveball, changeup. The Blues hitters have been getting the full buffet of those pitches. 0-1's a fastball, just misses outside, a ball and a strike. Good lead from Gabe Vigil. His pitching coach on Twitter sees him as a setup guy or a closer type at the collegiate level. Certainly has the frame for it at 6'6", 225. Big lead at first base from Murillo as the pitch misses low and outside, 2 balls and a strike. This is important too. Under 1.3 seconds to home plate. That makes it hard for runners to take off towards second base and steal a bag.
Yeah, you wanna have a really quick load time to get to the plate, make your job easy on the catcher. See if Murillo, who can steal bags, is going to offer.
Pick over at first, and Murillo's back in time. Diego stole 12 in his lone season at Northeastern State. He stole 11 in his final season at Cuesta. 2-1. Vigil swings and misses for strike 2.
Definitely a bag stealer over at first, and he's getting a pretty big-sized lead over there. He's almost he's straddling where that little cusp of dirt drops down.
On the 2-2 from the stretch is Pasma. He delivers, and Vigil lazily hits it in the air to right, falling fast, and Bowen can't get there. Bloop single for Gabe Vigil. 2 runners on for the Blues in the second.
Not a base hit he's going to be proud of at 67 miles an hour, but it finds a nice piece of outfield grass, gets the job done. 2 on and nobody out, and it's the top of the order.
100-mile-an-hour line drive in the scorebooks. Back-to-back base runners for Pasma. Now we're to the top of the lineup, and Caden Cuccia reached on error to begin the game and eventually came around to score on a sacrifice fly from Mason Ashlock. Cuccia has a talk with third base coach Rene Regalado to get on the same page.
The Blues might play a little bit of small ball here with 2 on and nobody out. Bunt them over for Jake Hicksonball.
We know Dean Traynor is old school. He's not afraid to play a little small ball with the best of them. First pitch to him. Caden leaves that one high, but it's a strike. Cuccia just spent his first season at Kenyatta College playing JUCO baseball. .439 on base percentage. He walked more than he struck out. 0-1. And Cuccia laid on a fastball, hits it up and out of play for strike 2.
This is not something you see that much anymore. I feel like we got a lot of players on the Blues who do walk more than they strike out, at least the last spring season. Just how players are trying to lift the ball nowadays, it's very common to see 30 strikeouts to 12 walks.
If you're going to have that ratio, you got to have good power numbers too, and oftentimes players don't. Cuccia leaves that one inside, a ball and 2 strikes.
That just shows me that Caden knows that he's not a guy who's going to lift the ball up and out of the park, but so he's going to just draw walks. He's going to knock singles and doubles around the yard and just try his best to not strike out and give himself a chance to get on.
10 doubles this past season with the Colts at Kenyatta College. Drove in 20 runs too. Here's a 1-2. Cuccia matrixes out of the way for ball 2. Was hit by a singular pitch this season. Seems like we got a lot of ball magnets on this roster. Guys get hit a lot.
I feel like also a common thing we've been seeing more and more in college baseball, pitchers are just trying to throw as hard as they can.
Yep.
Lose a little bit of their control.
That's what teams are looking for. 2-2. And Caden goes the opposite way to the left fielder Enns, who makes the running grab to his right and squeezes it for the first out of the inning.
A good 2-strike approach. Pitch on the outside part, a fastball, and he just decided to go the other way with it. Just didn't get all of it, and Enns was able to make a good play on the run.
Some weird spin on the left-handed bat going towards the left field line, but ends came up with it. And now it's Jake Hicksonbaugh who recorded the first base hit of the day for San Luis Obispo. Bunt to the right side that found some real estate, and the pitcher Pasma had some difficulty flipping to the first baseman Laughlin. Hicksonbaugh swings and misses over a changeup for strike one. Jake spent his second and final season at Monterey Peninsula College with the Lobos. In the portal now, trying to find a 4-year institute. Batted .247 this past season in San Luis Obispo. Here's the 0-1. Hicksonbaugh leaves that one inside, a ball and a strike. Last year, Hicksy drove in 9 with San Luis Obispo in his 98 plate appearances and 77 at-bats. Number went up at Monterey Peninsula with 11 ribbies. Here's the 1-1. Hicksonbaugh, another wild hack at a heater. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Good speed on both first and second base. Hicksy just trying to find some outfield grass and let them use those wheels to get around the bases and extend this lead for the Blues.
Murillo at second, Gabe Vigil at first. Fresh legs on the base paths for the Blues. Brendan Comerford standing on deck with 1 out. Blues up 1-0 over the California Expos. Here's the 1-2. Hicksonbaugh takes it on the outside corner, strike 3. Tough call on the curveball, but went down as a strike. If you're going to expand the zone, Hicksonbaugh goes down looking for the second out.
A really good movement on that curveball. It's not quite a 12-6, doesn't go top to bottom, has a little bit of inside run to it. And right there, that one ran and caught the outside part of the plate.
So now it's Brendan Comerford, who reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning and was stranded at third base. Brendan, the RBI leader for San Luis Obispo this summer. First pitch, Comerford watches the sweeper in there for a strike.
Same exact pitch he threw to Hicksonbaugh for the strikeout, but this time it's a righty, so it started at Comerford's waist and belted into the strike zone.
0-1 count to the Gonzaga commit. Comerford with a big swing and a miss on a changeup for strike 2. Brendan has 101 official college RBIs. Got potentially at least 2 more sitting out there for him right now. Peek at second, now the 0-2. Comerford hits it off his front foot at the backstop. We'll do it again at no balls and 2 strikes.
It could be 3. He could get 3 RBIs here.
He can. That's at least 2 is what I said.
Don't doubt the kid.
No, I'm not.
Warning track.
27 college home runs. 0-2. Comerford watches the spinner down the heart of the plate for strike 3. The Blues strand 2 on a hit. No errors. It's still a 1-0 ball game heading to the third. Slow Blues streaming network. Into the third inning we go on the SLO Blues streaming network, and it's a new pitcher. Gallimore's day is done just after a lone inning of work and a strikeout. It's Cooper Bagby, the right-hander from Allen Hancock Community College and a graduate of Rigetti High School. This past season with the Bulldogs, or 2 years ago with the Bulldogs, a .402 earned run average in 65 innings pitched, 60 strikeouts to 17 walks, and he's in to replace Gallimore. And it's starting to see what this game is shaping out to be in terms of pitching. Hammond going 1 inning, Gallimore going 1 inning. I'd imagine Bagby would do the same, as the first pitch to Bradley Gage is in there for a strike. No one getting hot in that Blues bullpen right now. 1-0 ball game ahead of the California Expos in the top of the third inning. From the windup, here's the 0-1. Gage hits it down the left field line and foul for strike 2. Bradley Gage didn't get the start yesterday for the California Expos, but he does, playing catcher and batting 8th for California. A Ram from Fresno City College. He didn't play for them this past season, but played in the City County All-Star game in his high school, his senior year of high school. Here's the 0-2. Gage swings and misses for strike 3. First batter that Bagby sees, he gets the strikeout swinging for the first out of the inning.
1272, 1272 is the number.
4 strikeouts on the day already for the California Expos offense. Now it's the 9-hole hitter, Zane Thornton.
Blues pitchers have just been locked in, even though it's been this bullpen game. They've still come in and been ready to go, and they've been throwing a lot of strikes.
First pitch, missing inside to Zane Thornton, a Salem, Utah native and a two-way player. Shortstop, right-handed pitcher from Porterville College. The Porterville College Pirates connection is strong with this team. Didn't play this past season or the year before. He hits it hard into center field. Suzuki moves to his left, makes the easy flat-footed grab for the second out of the inning.
Just pounding in the zone. That's the name of the game in the CCL. If you throw strikes, you're going to be pretty successful. So far, they're doing that.
Here's Gavin Enns, who struck out swinging to begin the ball game against Hunter Hammond. Enns entering his sophomore season at Fresno Pacific University. Batting .294 in his 34 at-bats. And that pitch is in there for a strike at 87 miles an hour. 10 hits, 4 of them for extra bases, 3 doubles and a triple. Batted in 11 for the Sunbirds. From the windup, here's Bagby on the 0-1. Curveball that buckled him up and taken on the inside corner for a strike. Friends call him G-Baby.
Maybe BC takes G-Hacks?
Could be.
Could be.
I'm gonna call you G-Baby, Giacomini.
I know.
0-2. Swings and pops it up in front of the press box. We'll do it again at no balls and 2 strikes. Cooper Bagby with some hot sauce. 91 miles an hour on that fastball. That's the hardest velo Blues pitchers have tossed this season. There's about a 4-way tie, I'd say, or a 2-way, 3-way tie on that. 0-2. Fastball outer half, and Bagby doesn't get the call. 89 miles an hour on the 4-seamer.
Somebody just needs to put a little extra oomph in it and take that title, that bragging rights, right?
O'Hara, who got the start yesterday, was chirping Hickerson because he topped out at 1 mile an hour faster than the Baylor Bear. 1-2. Curveball on the outside corner, strike 3. 2 Ks for Cooper Bagby. The side is retired. Still 1-0 San Luis Obispo heading into the home half of the third on the SLO Blues streaming network. Home half of the third inning at Sinsheimer Stadium, and the Blues lead the California Expos 1-0 on a picturesque day on the Central Coast. Mason Ashlock leads it off for the San Luis Obispo Blues, and he looks at the slider low for a ball. Mason with the sacrifice fly into right field. The last time he was up, the lone run in today's ball game.
Already 6 runners today for the Blues as they look to add on to this lead in the bottom of the third.
Ashlock watches that fastball high for a ball. Mason from Dripping Springs, Texas, to 2 different junior colleges, Temple College and Weatherford College in the Lone Star State. 2-0 is smashed to the shortstop, Latimer, who can't glove it. Infield base hit for Mason Ashlock, leadoff single. That was a rocket over to Latimer at short.
104 off the bat. Hardest hit ball of the summer for the Blues.
That's right. Nice hustle down the line. Makes sense why he is garnering all this interest from Power 4 conferences. Here's another Power 4 talent here in Don Jordan. Jordan shows bunt and rolls foul down the first base line.
And I know very small ball approach from this team, but Don Jordan has reached base safely 7 times in his last 12 plate appearances. I'd let him swing the stick.
I would as well. Starting to see it well. Pink bomb bat or not. Singled in the first inning for the second Blues hit of the day. They got 4. 0-1. He leaves a breaking ball bouncing on top of home plate. A ball and a strike. Don was a stud in high school. 2-time 6A first team All-State. All-District recognition twice, and All-American honors in his senior season. That's hard to do in Texas, as I like to say, it's an everything sports state. 1-1. Jordan leaves a fastball low and outside, 2 balls and a strike. You got high school football, which is religion out there. It's like chapel every Friday night. That's how serious it is.
Yeah.
Jordan wasn't a football player, but baseball's big too. Ashlock takes off towards second base. The throw is not in time. Strike called on Don Jordan. A questionable call on the four-seam fastball. Leaves it 2-2.
1287 on your program. Go to the marketing tent, get a fast speed seat cushion from Promotional Concepts.
Stolen base for Mason Ashlock, and a runner in scoring position now for the Longhorn Jordan. Wind blowing in from center on the 2-2 counts. Timeout is called by Don at home plate. We haven't seen that often either. Hitters aren't calling time that often at the plate.
I feel like most of the pitchers we've seen so far this whole summer have had pretty good pace, and that's probably why we're not seeing it as much from the hitters.
Back in the box, here's a 2-2, and Jordan hits it on the barrel to left center. It falls fast, and it lands on the grass for a base hit. Rounding third, and coming in to score is Ashlock. The throw is short. RBI double, Don Jordan, and the Blues add on. 2-0 in the third.
And Don Jordan has just been mashing the ball around the yard, and he does it once again right in the left center field gap, slamming that ball. And I thought I had a chance to get all the way to the wall, but it got cut off. 89 miles an hour off the bat from Don Jordan.
Kosei Suzuki now, who walked in his first plate appearance and has a chance to expand the lead with a runner in scoring position in Jordan. And he's got some wheels too. We talked about how he can move that 6'1", 230 body around. He was wheeling and dealing over to second base. Here's Suzuki with an open stance in the back of the right-handed batter's box. The first pitch is wrapped to the third baseman Thornton, who bobbles it. Can't come up with the baseball, and that's an error on the hot corner by Thornton. He seemed to glove it okay, but when he tried to transition it into his hands, he just couldn't come up with it.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a tough time getting it into the glove because it took a weird hop right off that infield fringe. And the infield just giving more infielders nightmares, and then once that, he was a little too rushed and could not get the ball over to first.
So here's Brady Alves, who popped out to the first baseman Laughlin last time he was up. Brady's had a rough go so far in his early Blues career. He has an opportunity to change that around right now with runners on first and second. from the stretch. The first pitch is a called strike on the outer half. Drove in 27 runs his senior year of high school in Fallon, Nevada. Did not play his first season at Butte Community College. 0-1. Hits it high into the air to center field. Butler saunters to his left. Stutter steps, makes the grab. Both runners tag. Jordan takes off towards third. The throw is offline. Now over at second base, and Suzuki's in safely. Heads up base running from both parties on a productive out from Brady Alves.
That was a rocket to third from Butler. Online, we would have seen Don Jordan walking back to the dugout.
Number 7.
So here's Diego Murillo had a leadoff walk in the second inning. Murillo with runners at second and third after the fly out to center field. Both runners advanced. Murillo gets underneath this one and hits a towering pop-up to the first baseman Laughlin, who gets called off by Chavez at second. Makes the one-handed squeeze for the second out of the inning. 2 gone.
Not a productive at-bat there with 2 in scoring position and just 1 out. We'd love to see one of those runs get across, but unfortunately, Murillo, like you mentioned, just got under it. But he just has to shake it off.
Here's number 24, Gabe Vigil.
Gabe Vigil now. He'll get a crack at it with 2 runners in scoring position. The catcher for San Luis Obispo today, who singled his first time up. That was in the second inning. Blues up 2-0. And Vigil dodges the fastball, ball no strikes. Five hits for the Blues this afternoon, producing 2 runs. 72-degree day. Mimosas are flowing. 1-0 is a weak flare down the right field line. The second baseman Chavez called everyone off, but couldn't leg it out. The ball and a strike here to Gabe Vigil. No relation to the assistant coach at Utah Valley Wrestling, Gabe Vigil. And speaking of Utah Valley, the Mustangs got the Wolverines today in an elimination game in Eugene.
Yeah, game time starting in 5 minutes.
That's right.
Need to have it, and then they play later tonight if they win.
Arizona Wildcats. 1-1, and Vigil watches that one low and outside. 2 balls and a strike. Cal Poly eliminated 12-seeded Oregon in their own regional.
It's been happening a lot. We just saw Vandy lose to Wright State to get eliminated from their own.
2-1, and Vigil hits a slow roller to Latimer, who gloves it and makes the throw on the run, but it's not in time. Offline, and a missed tag brings in a run for San Luis Obispo. They add 1 more, 3-0 Blues.
Just another error. That's the 3rd for the Expos. Just things that you can't have happen if you want to beat the Blues. They're a team that's proven that they can win games, and you're not going to be able to have this many fielding errors this early in the game and be successful.
One error in the first inning came around to score. And another one is knocking on the door right now. It's Suzuki at third base who reached on there. So Vigil with another error, reaching on with runners at the corners. Gabe takes off towards second. The throw goes down, and the tag is in time. They got him. Gabe Vigil is caught stealing, but not before the Blues get 2 more, including a Don Jordan RBI double. 3-0 San Luis Obispo on the Slow Blues streaming network. Summer's here and the boys are back in town. Come celebrate the Blues' 79th season with fireworks after the game against the Menlo Park Legends on June 6th. Buy your tickets now at bluesbaseball.com. New pitcher in for San Luis Obispo, it's Wyatt Fisher. He spins an off-speed pitch high for ball one. Fisher, a native of Cincinnati, Ohio, and a senior from Cedarville University. And to face Kai Butler, Cam Bowen, and Jimmy Martinez in this frame, in what is now a 3-0 ball game, as this one's popped up and out of play for strike one. Fisher this last season only made 4 appearances for the Yellow Jackets. He's pitching 4 innings as well. 6 walks to his 3 strikeouts. Really trying to hone in on that command this summer. Foul ball chopped off the front foot of Butler. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Butler in a 1-2 counts. Kai, a golden eagle from Cal State LA. Fisher comes set on the rubber on the right side. Strides and shoots. Late on the fastball here as it's lined over the Blues bullpen. We'll do it again at a ball and 2 strikes. We're checking out Kai Butler's weightlifting journey. 1,000-pound club member.
Yeah. Not an easy feat.
True freshman season. Deadlifted, benched, and box squatted the weight of 1,000 pounds as an off-speed misses inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
To put that into perspective, most people say if you're an active weightlifter, you should be able to bench your body weight, squat 1.5 times your body weight, and deadlift 2 times your body weight. But he's doing way more than that to get into the 1,000-pound club.
2-2 misses in the dirt. At 180 pounds, the deadlift is 455, the bench is 235, and the box squat is 405.
Wow.
As a true freshman.
That squat, squat, a box squat too?
At 18 years old, those numbers. Here's the payoff pitch from Fisher. Hit on the ground left side, backhanded by the shortstop Murillo. Makes the throw across his body and across the diamond in time. Ground out to Kai Butler begins things in the 4th. It's 1 out.
Good play by Murillo, especially because we've seen how unfriendly this infield has been today to the Expos fielders. He's able to get that one cleanly on the backhand and then throw a strike to Comerford.
So now it's Cam Bowen, the right fielder, who reached on an error in the 1st inning. 1 error today for San Luis Obispo, 3 for the California Expos. First pitch missing inside for a ball. Bowen from Reedley College, born and raised in Fresno, California. This past season at Reedley, a .311 average, 428 on base percentage, and 119 at-bats. 1-0. Leaves that one low and inside, clanks off the shin of Vigil and into the on-deck circle. 2 balls and no strikes. Solid enough numbers to be honored with Central Valley Conference second team recognition. From the stretch, here's Fisher. This one in there for a strike. Four-seamer nibbling at the inside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike to Bowen. Bowen played yesterday as well. An 0 for 4 evening at the dish. Open batting stance on the 2-1. And he hits it off the hands and it trickles into right field for a base hit. Cuccia with unfortunate placement that time. Looked like he was racing towards the bag at second base. And the ball was just hit the completely opposite way.
I'm a little confused as to what Cuccia was doing. It almost looked like he was running to second as someone was stealing second base.
That's what I was thinking as well.
But obviously nobody on, and just, I guess, maybe thought that it was going to be a pull side hit and guessed wrong.
It also looked like he was trying to backdoor a runner at second too. That's the kind of motion you typically see when an infielder takes off towards the bag during a pitch. Either way, it's the first base hit of the day for the California Expos. Jimmy Martinez watches a fastball high for ball 1. Martinez, one of the many Porterville Pirates on this roster for California, and the only left-hander in today's lineup. Four-seamer skipping on the dirt, 2 balls and no strikes. The lefty standing at 6'2", 205. 320 batting average last season. 2 home runs, drove in 16. 2-0. He leaves a 4-seamer low. Bounces out of the mid of V-Hill. 3 balls and no strikes. We talked about the walk numbers for Wyatt Fisher this past season with the Yellow Jackets, and kind of coming into fruition here.
Having a tough time finding the zone early.
3-0, that's a cold strike on the inner part of the zone.
And considering we've seen one inning, nobody's getting loose in the Blues bullpen yet, but you've got to think that Wyatt Fisher's probably also only getting 1 inning.
This is his debut with San Luis Obispo this summer. 3-1. Bouncing ball on the right side. First baseman Comerford gloves it, flips it over to first where Fisher's at. They get the out there, but the runner at first and Bone advances to second. 2 gone here in the 4th inning with a runner now in scoring position for the Expos. Jacob Latimer now, who grounded back up to the pitcher Gallimore last time he was up.
It's a really good play by Comerford. Charge it, fielded on the hop, made sure he didn't get on a short hop, and then looked to second. And once he didn't have time, the pitcher was already waiting for him, and he could just softly toss it over there and get the easy out first.
Here's the first pitch with a runner on second. Latimer swings and misses at the off speed for strike 1. I'm talking with some Blues players and talking about the Expos, and the general consensus is that they think Latimer is the best guy on their team. Goes to Oklahoma Baptist, which is a D2 powerhouse. 0-1. Latimer swings and misses at the cutter outside. 0-2. Recovered from a torn labrum this past fall. And the season showed out with a .271 batting average, a .366 on base, and his 96 at-bats. 0-2. Latimer skies this one up and out of play on the right side. We'll do it again at no balls and 2 strikes.
Over into the Little League Park. Kids, if you want to chase it now,
checks out his value to this team, according to the Blues, because he was the CVCL's MVP last summer. Central Valley Collegiate League, where the California Expos play. Fisher comes set from the stretch with the runner on second. 3-0 Blues in the 4th. This ball left upstairs, a ball and 2 strikes. Wyatt Fisher tried to climb the ladder there and get Latimer to chase. So close on those foul balls. Nice job leaving that pitch alone. Infield shifted to the right-hander's pull side. 1-2. Fastball yanked and blocked by V-Hill. Runner stays at second, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Good block by V-Hill. Definitely don't want to let that runner get up to third on like a wild pitch or a pass ball or something of that nature. Want to keep him at second base so that, a base hit doesn't necessarily, he's not automatically scoring.
Here's a 2-2. Curveball hit hard into left field. It falls in front of Hixenbaugh. Stopping at third is Bowen with a 2-out single off the bat of Latimer.
See why the guys in yellow today might think that Latimer might be the best hitter on this team. That ball was hit really well. Just shot to the pull side in a 2-2 count. Did a good job working from 0-2 to 2-2, and then hitting that one at 94 miles an hour into left.
So Justice Laughlin now with runners at the corners.
batter now, number 13.
Grounded out to the first baseman Comerford last time he was up. Yesterday was 0 for 3 with a hit by pitch. He leaves a sweeper outside, 1 ball and no strikes. First baseman outfielder at Evangel University. And his dad, Rusty, is in the Menachie High School Hall of Fame for baseball. 1-0, a floating off-speed pitch outside, 2 balls and no strikes. His father also went to Porterville Community College and played baseball there. Following in his footsteps, just played 2 seasons there, JUCO ball, 2-0. V-Hill comes out of his squat to get the fastball, 3 balls and no strikes. Bullpen game for San Luis Obispo. They've ran through 4 pitchers already. No one's getting loose in that bullpen so far. Runners at first and third. 3-0 count with 2 outs. Blues lead 3-0 in the top of the 4th. Here's the pitch. Sweeper missing way outside for ball 4. Wyatt Fisher's command never on, and he's had trouble to find it this whole day, as he'll have a chat with pitching coach Brian Traynor.
Sponsors of Blues Baseball include ABC Bonding, Adventist Health, Sierra Vista Regional Medical Center.
Fisher just seeming to do too much with those pitches. Yanking the fastball, trying to be extra perfect with the slider, and that's just no way to go about throwing your pitches and execute.
Yeah, especially with 2 on and 2 out, just get a ground ball, get out of the inning. You don't got to do too much, but right there you mentioned just yanking everything, trying to blow pitches past the batter and yanking his curveball in the dirt or way outside, just having a tough time with his command, as now there's some yellow jerseys starting to do some stretching in the bullpen.
And ironically enough, that's actually the first walk of the day issued by Blues pitching. So now here's Gio Chavez, second baseman, batting 7th. He struck out swinging to end the 2nd inning last time he was up. Bases loaded, 2 outs. First pitch is a fastball, low and outside for a ball.
If I'm Gio Chavez, I'm not swinging the bat until he throws me a strike. 5 straight balls now after giving up the 94-mile-an-hour base hit to Latimer.
1-0. Elevated changeup well above the zone. 2 balls and no strikes.
Just got to find the zone, get one over, and then get rolling from there.
Wind blowing straight in from center field. 2-0. Yanked fastball below the zone. 3 balls and no strikes. And it seems to be the plan, Ryan. Just take until you get one. Cal Poly underway against Utah Valley, Eugene, Oregon, top of the 1st inning. Wolverines got a runner on first. 3-0, taking all the way. Gets a fastball over the plate for a strike.
Dropped the velo there down to 82 on the fastball. Just he knew that he just needed to throw a strike, and he did just that.
Chavez drove in 11 runs this past season at Porterville College. 3-1. Sends one up and out of play, off to the right. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Chavez yesterday 0 for 3. Didn't drive any runs there. He was in a 2nd and 3rd situation in the 2nd and lined out to Comerford to end the inning. Deep side, now the payoff pitch. Runners go, ball in play, but it's foul on the right side. We'll do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. This is the 2nd time that Chavez has put together a nice at-bat, seeing a lot of pitches and fighting them off. It didn't go his way in the 2nd against Gallimore. You see what happens here against Fisher. Has a meeting with his 3rd base coach. Michael Isom down there for the California Expos, getting on the same page with his right-handed hitting 2nd baseman Chavez. Gio standing in at 5'8", 160 pounds. Somewhat similar frame to the Blues' very own Kosei Suzuki. Playing center today. As the wind picks back up, blows across his face. 3-2 is foul tipped off the chest of Vigil. Do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Runners taking off no matter what. A 3-2, 2-out situation, and the base is loaded. Either Chavez is going to put it in play, or strike out, or walk. Either way, the runners would move. The inning would be over if an out was produced, but might as well just get going. 3-2. Swing and a liner over the head of Cuccia into right field for a base hit. 1 run is in. Here's another as Jordan botches it, and they throw it over to 3rd on line, and the tag is not in time. 2 RBI base hit for Gio Chavez brings the game within 1. It's 3-2 Blues.
It's a really good piece of hitting by Chavez and a really good battle. He gets the best of Fisher, a 2 RBI single like you mentioned, Nate. Not what you're looking for out of the reliever, but Now the Blues got to battle, be tough. You still got to get out of this inning and then get those bats back up there that have been hot so far today.
The Expos entered this inning with no hits. They have 3 now in a 3-2 ball game. Here's Bradley Gage, who struck out swinging to begin the 3rd inning.
You see now what walks can do to you. Even though, you know, it came with 2 outs, it extended the inning and just put Fisher in a bad spot.
On the 1-0, it sends straight back into the net behind home plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bradley Gage is a super utility player. Catcher, outfielder, right-handed pitcher. Could probably umpire too. 1-1 is swung on and foul tipped into Vihil's mitt. 1-2 now.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of guys anymore who catch and play in the outfield.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, you know, the only player I could think of at the professional level is like Dalton Varsho, who was a catcher and now plays in the outfield for the Blue Jays. But like just something you don't see that often.
Good pull. 1-2. Runner takes off towards second. There will be no throw from Vigil. A stolen bag for Gio Chavez puts 2 in scoring position. Good jump. Vigil couldn't glove it correctly or get a nice grip. Stolen bag for the second baseman. 2-2 count with 2 gone. Here's Gage. Leaves a fastball high, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Omar Reynoso getting hot in the Blues pen. Fisher comes set with runners on second and third. Blues up by 1. Pitch is popped up and sent back and out of play. Do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. And again, these Expo hitters battling pretty well off this Blues staff. They don't go down easily, at least in this inning. Wyatt comes set at the belt. Payoff. Low and outside, ball 4. First base was already open, and that will load the bases. The second walk of this inning for Wyatt Fisher. As Dean Traynor hobbles out to the mound. There's a new pitcher for San Luis Obispo, Omar Reynoso. We'll talk more about him after this on the SLO Blues streaming network.
Change for the Blues. Thornton is the batter.
New pitcher for San Luis Obispo, Omar Reynoso, the southpaw from Allen Hancock, or from College of San Mateo. They're both the Bulldogs. In to replace Wyatt Fisher, who in 2/3 led up 3 hits, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. Runs to be determined. All 3 on the base paths are under his responsibility. Omar Reynoso's changeup misses below the zone to Zane Thornton for ball 1. Zane, a Pirate from Porterville College, didn't play this past season or the season before. Last time he played in a college game was 2023. 1-0. This one hit in the air and out of play, which I believe is the year Ryan was born.
Not that young, Nate. Not that young.
He's not just a shortstop. Today he's playing third base for the Expos, and he also pitches. 3 appearances in 2023 for Porterville. 1-1. Spinning breaking ball, missing out of the zone. 2 balls and a strike. 6'6", 210 pounds for the utility man from Salem, Utah. Bases loaded. 3-2 game. Blues are up in the top of the 4th. 2-run inning for the Expos. 2-1. Bouncing ball to the shortstop, Murillo, who flips it to second for the force out. And the side is retired. But not before a 2 RBI single from Gio Chavez brings the game within 1. San Luis Obispo up 3-2, heading to the bottom half of the 4th on the Slow Blue Streaming Network.
Owl to give away $10 gift cards to
Bottom of the 4th inning is brought to you by the talented team at Studio Design Group Architects. Whether you're designing, planning, or needing permits for a new space, Studio Design Group and their collaborative philosophy have you covered. Visit sdgarchitects.com to learn more. New pitcher on the mound replacing Austin Pasma after his 3 innings of work. It's Garrett Sanchez for the California Expos. First pitch missing low to Caden Cuchilla, the leadoff man for the Blues, for ball 1. Pasma went 3 innings, allowed 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. And the Expos are quickly running out of arms. All they have left is Rudy Amaya, 1-0. Cuchilla watches that one inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Technically, they could go to Evan Drummond, who didn't have an insane amount of work yesterday. They used 3. They brought 6 on this road trip to San Luis Obispo. I'd imagine they'd want Sanchez to go 3 here, as Cuchilla leaves that one high and tight, 2 balls and no strikes. Caden is 0 for 2 today, with a soft fly ball to left field and an error in the first. He did come around to score on a sacrifice fly from Mason Ashlock. From the belt, here's Sanchez on the 3-0, and Cuchilla leaves that one inside for ball 4. Leadoff walk for the Blues gets things going in the 4th inning, and it gives way to Jake Hicksenbaugh, who is 1 for 2 this afternoon.
Stepping in now for San Luis Obispo.
Hicksenbaugh was forced out at second base on his single in the 1st inning, and he collected the first Blues hit of the day. First pitch. Hicksenbaugh hits it hard into center field. Butler ranging to his right, takes an angle backwards, and makes the grab for the first out of the inning. That one just caught a jet stream out in left center field. Hicksenbaugh hit it decently hard, but just a little too much under it. And Butler kind of had to reroute his whole angle towards the baseball. Nonetheless, comes up with the catch. And now with 1 out, it's Brendan Comerford with a runner on first base. Brendan is 0 for 2 today with a strikeout looking to end the second, and reached on a fielder's choice in the first. He was stranded at third base there. Runner takes off towards second base. The throw down is not in time. Stolen bag for Jake Hicksenbaugh. Hicksenbaugh had 22 stolen bases last summer. That led the team. Off to a good start now with another stolen bag here. So another insurance run over at second base as he gets a healthy lead at second. And check that, it's Caden Cuchilla over at first, who skips and shuffles off the base. 1-0. And Comerford violently hacks and misses for strike 1. And Cuchilla reached on that walk, and Hicksenbaugh flew out to center field this inning. Standing on deck, it's Mason Ashlock for the Blues. San Luis Obispo up 3-2 after a 2-run top of the 4th for California. 3 peaks at second, and now coming home. Swinging and missing on the slider is Comerford for strike 2. Five hits for the Blues in this ball game, 3 for California. They all came in this last half inning. A rough go for Wyatt Fisher, a relief pitcher for the Blues. Omar Reynoso came in to clean the mess. 1-2. Comerford hits it hard to the shortstop, who backhands it and throws it over to first. Tags Cuchilla, and it's not in time. Comerford reaches on his second fielder's choice of the day, and there's runners at the corners for the Blues. That's a smart play by Latimer to not try to be the hero and make the insane Derek Jeter throw across his body and get it over to first. All of his speed was taking him towards the bag at third, and because of Cuchilla's quickness, his 6.8 60-yard dash, he got to the bag in time, and the tag was not put down. So now here's Mason Ashlock, the last person you'd want to see if you're the California Expos. This guy has got some juice. Yesterday in batting practice, depositing a baseball on top of the shed out in left field, which seems close to you guys on your screen, but that's a moonshot. First pitch is hammered the other way, and it drops in for a base hit. The right fielder, Bowen, bobbles it. One run comes in to score. On the throw, he goes to second, and they tag him out at the bag. But an RBI single for Mason Ashlock makes it a 4-2 ball game.
We have $3 beers and $4 field recording. Both sides of the ballpark.
Cuchilla scores. And what was almost 2 runners on the base paths is now just 1. 4-2 ball game though. And it's teed up for Don Jordan to make it 5. First pitch. And Jordan crushes it to left center field. Left fielder and right fielder converging, and the center fielder, Butler, makes the grab, falling on the ground. Don Jordan gets robbed of extra bases, but the Blues bring in a run on an RBI single from Mason Ashlock, his second ribby of the day. 4-2 Blues on the SLO Blues streaming network.
From Adventist Health. This is how this works. We have a couple of teams that are coming out on the field.
Top of the order due up for the California Expos, and Omar Reynoso is back out there for another inning of work. Gavin Enns, Kai Butler, and Cam Bowen due up for California. There's now a 4-2 ball game following an RBI single off the bat. Mason Ashlock, 100 miles an hour going the opposite way. Enns 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts and the recipient of ball 1 against Reynoso. Here's the 1-0. This one hit hard into left center field, ranging to his left. It's Hicksonbaum, who hops and makes the grab for the first out of the inning.
Very well hit ball to the pull side, just got a little too far off the hands. Hicksonbaum able to make a rangy play to his left and squeeze it for the first out.
Here's Kai Butler, the 2-hole hitter for California, also 0 for 2 today. A native of Clovis, California, and a Golden Eagle at Cal State LA. Played in 18 games this past season with the Golden Eagles. Started in 2 of them in his true freshman season. Batted .250, 3 for 12. First pitch, and he squibs it to the first baseman Comerford. Calls off Reynoso and taps the bag himself. Second out on 1 pitch, 2 gone in the 5th inning.
Reynoso's known as a pitcher who's going to generate soft contact, and right there he does just that. He's not a big strikeout guy, not going to kill you with his velocity or his stuff, but just really hard to put a good barrel on his pitches.
Now it's Cam Bowen, the right-handed hitter, against the lefty Omar Reynoso. He's 1 for 2 today with a single in the 4th. That's the first hit of the Expos today. All of their hits came in that 4th inning. Hesitation on the delivery, and he comes home. 1 ball, no strikes to Bowen.
I really like that look from Reynoso. As I just mentioned, he's not going to kill you with the velocity or stuff, so mix it up with the wind-up and throw the hitters off a little bit.
Some trickery. 1-0. Missing inside, buckling his knees on the fastball. 2 balls and no strikes. Bowen, all Central Valley Conference second team. After his 37 of 119 season, 311 average, 428 on base, and a 387 slug. 2-0. Opposite way, liner, and it's up and out of play. 2 balls and a strike now.
Some people chasing after it. If you can find it, you can take it home thanks to Animal Care Clinic.
4-2 ball game in the top of the 5th inning from Sinsheimer Stadium. 2-1. Another liner in the same direction and out of play. Leads to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Free foul ball sponsor today is Animal Care Clinic.
Reynoso, his first season of college baseball, spent at the College of San Mateo. A 6 earned run average and 10 1/3 innings pitched. 6 walks, 5 walks to his 6 strikeouts. Now at Allen Hancock, he redshirt this past year, 2-2. Curveball spinning and just spinning outside, fills it up at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Gave up 13 hits in those 10 2/3 with the Bulldogs. 7 earned runs. Reynoso kicks and deals. The 3-2 is swung on and missed, strike 3. Omar likes it, and so does the rest of the Blues. 4-2 San Luis Obispo, halfway home from Sinsheimer on Slow Blues Streaming Network. Kosei Suzuki leads it off in the bottom half of the 5th inning for San Luis Obispo. He's followed by Brady Alves and Diego Murillo. 4-2 ball game. Blues lead the California Expos on this Sunday afternoon. And Suzuki watches the first pitch sweeper outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Suzuki, one of the more exciting names to come to the Central Coast this summer. He's looking for a summer ball team up until May 7th. The Blues nabbed him from Frank Phillips Community College. There's another fastball missing outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
Nate and I love his numbers and over at Frank Phillips, and we are excited to see what he can do here at Sinsheimer.
How could you not love him? A career plus 1,000 OPS hitter in JUCO. He hacks at a changeup and misses for strike 1.
That'll play.
Sure will. Any level. Before he came to the States and played community college at Frank Phillips, he prepped in the South Australian Baseball League. There's 8 levels to that league, and he played at the Division I level, which is obviously the highest. Played for Kensington. 2-1 is off the hands, backhanded by the third baseman Thornton, who fires over to first. Nice play in time to retire Suzuki.
A really nice play by the third baseman Thornton. The ball was hit pretty hard down the line, took a step and almost went into a full split to stop that ball from going down the line, and then a strong throw to beat the speedy Suzuki.
Came from a tough place because Thornton, as you said, was extended on that baseball in the backhand. A lot of forces going against you on that throw, and he fired a strike over to Laughlin in time. So 1 gone in the 5th inning now for Brady Alves. Alves watches the first pitch low and outside for a ball. Brady 0 for 2 today, but had a rather productive fly ball out in the third inning that moved Ashlock and Jordan both into scoring position. They both eventually came around to score. 1-0. Alves takes that one for a strike. It's the little things sometimes. Scored on an error by the third baseman Thornton. That made it a 4-2 game. 1-1 is Weekly hit to the 5-5 hole, and Thornton bobbles it and can't come up with it. Third error of the day for the third baseman Thornton, and the inning stays alive. So now it's Diego Murillo, 0 for 1 today, with a pop out to the second baseman Chavez and a walk in the second inning. Who started that frame with back-to-back base runners and then quickly went 1-2-3 after that. They went to the top of the order and just couldn't get those guys in. Didn't have a problem in the third, though. They added 2 more runs. Runner takes off towards second base. The throw down is short and not in time. Stolen bag for Brady Alves after reaching on an error from Thornton.
Runner in scoring position after you mentioned the error. Coming back to Hansha. They already have 4 in today's ball game, and like I mentioned, that just can't happen if you're also going to give up 8 hits and then not really produce on the other side of the ball as well.
Meeting at the mound between Gage and his right-hander Garrett Sanchez as they try to get on the right page. And a 1-0 count to Diego Murillo, today's shortstop for the Blues. Rocking the cherry red batting gloves, and the royal blue Bruce Bolt sleeve on that left arm. Gabe Vigil stands on deck. He's 1 for 2 and was caught stealing in the third inning. But a runner on second now for the shortstop Murillo. Infield shifted to the righty's pull side. 1-0. And Murillo sends this one straight back into the net for strike 1. Diego played shortstop at Cuesta College, too. 81 games across 2 seasons, a .302 average with the Cougars. 20 doubles. He had 15 in his sophomore season in 2024. Inside move at second. Retreating back to the bag quickly is Alves. Diego's brother David and his brother Marco also play for the Cuesta Cougars. Long hold and a long look at second base. Now the 1-1 comes home and it hits him in the back of the head. Look out. A curveball that got out of the fingertips of Garrett Sanchez plunks Murillo in the neck for the hit by pitch.
Next batter for the Blues, the catcher, number 24, Gabe Vigil.
Runners on first and second now for Gabe Vigil, today's backstop for San Luis Obispo. Vigil 1 of 2, a single in the second inning. 4-2 ball game. Runners on first and second, 1 out. Vigil watches the four-seamer low for ball 1. Vigil, a graduate of San Luis Obispo High School, just up the street, playing for the Tigers. Familiar faces with Dean Trainer and Rene Regalado, coaches for the Blues, also coached San Luis Obispo High. 1-0, the ball kicks away, and both runners advance up a station. Throw goes down to second base, but it will not be in time to get Murillo. 2 runners in scoring position for Gabe Vigil. Vigil just finished up his senior season with the Tigers. In 26 games, he batted .226 and drove in 7 runs. 4 doubles and a homer. That home run was a grand slam. Infield playing in with runners at second and third and 1 out. 2-0. Vigil shows bunt. He pops it straight back and it hits the netting for strike 1. Vigil here, you're trying to put something in the air. Hard to think about when you have the wind blowing in. It seems kind of counterintuitive. But with the infield playing shallow, You want to put the ball in the air so a runner can tag from third and score. Outfield playing at regular depth here. Here's a 2-1. Vigil tried to lift it and sent it straight back for strike 2.
Like you just mentioned, Vigil's job is just to hit the ball into the outfield and let the runners either tag up, or if it drops down, an RBI base hit, maybe 2 RBI base hit, and just lift the ball and hopefully it touches some green grass.
Here's a 2-2. And Gabe squibs it on the left side. Third baseman spins, throws home. It's not in time.
When the Blues score, you score.
Fielder's choice from Gabe Vigil brings in a run. It's a 5-2 ball game.
$3 beers, $4 field.
I don't know why Alves didn't slide, but somehow it worked, and he gets in safely on, like you mentioned, the fielder's choice.
So the Blues, either way, bring in a run and pull that much farther away from the California Expos. A 5-2 ball game with the bottom half of the 5th inning. And we'll flip it to the top of the lineup, and Caden Cuccia 0 for 2 today with a walk in the 4th. He scored 2 of the 5 runs this afternoon. As both runners take off, the throw goes down to third, and Thornton keeps it in front. Stolen base for Diego Murillo and Gabe Vigil.
And 12:48. 13:35 and
Murillo had that bag stolen easily. He was almost popped up from his slide before the ball was even to the bat.
Fast speed seat cushion.
Now 2 runners in scoring position. Infield plays in again, still 1 out the bottom of the 5th inning. 9 hits for San Luis Obispo. Cuccia trying to crack in and make it double digits. 1-0. And Caden spits on the offering inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Cuccia, a 3-time first-team All-League and All-Area honoree at Rigetti High School, continuing that success with the Colts at Kenyatta College. 2-0. Cuccia leaves that one inside. 3 balls and no strikes now. It was a perfect game, All-American as well, playing for the Warriors at Rigetti High School. The meeting at the mound once again between Gage and Sanchez. Sanchez seemed to minimize the damage decently well when he first came in the 4th. It's been a different story here in the 5th. A lot of sloppy baseball, an error via Alves came in to score, and then a hit by pitch, and Murillo is over at third base now. A 3-0 count to the leadoff man, Caden Cuccia, one of the 2 left-handed bats in the Blues lineup. That looks like it hit his shin. Cuccia flips his bat in pain, and it loads the bases. Might have gotten a piece of the home plate umpire as well, as he takes a breather walking around foul territory. Oh, and he got a cut on that forearm.
Yeah.
A big gash on the top of his arm.
Yeah, it drew blood.
That's severe. A rather large wound, and they're going to have to take a look at this one. Never seen a baseball open someone's skin like that before. It had to have been a piece of equipment that got it.
Yeah, either that, or maybe it's possible if he already had a scab or a cut from recently that it reopened if the ball hit it. But still, some sort of equipment probably is what did it.
Big delay here as all hands are on deck to try to treat this umpire. Athletic trainers bringing out the bag to wrap this thing up. He's not writhing around in pain. He seems more annoyed that this is even happening more than just being in pain.
Yeah, I mean, as an umpire, you definitely don't want to inconvenience the game if you don't have to.
Right. Working quickly here. Lots of bodies standing around the home plate umpire. Bases loaded situation here. Home plate umpire walking around dripping in blood on the top of his forearm following a Caden Cuccia walk. Flexing those right fingers, getting some water and some bandages out there. Jake Hicksombaugh, in a way, getting iced right now. A bases loaded 1-out situation, up by 3 against the Expos.
Yeah, the AT's just cleaning out that wound before they bandage it up. And like I mentioned, as the umpire, you never want to delay the game if you don't have to. But this is a situation where, you have to get that taped up. You can't play with the umpire gushing blood from his right arm.
He doesn't seem to be in too much pain. Again, I think just annoyed that this delay is even happening. It's a pretty significant gash, but he seems to be okay.
Play begins on Tuesday for the Blues.
With this delay, it's a good time to remind you that it's time to throw down for a hoedown at Sinsheimer on June 19th. Show up to the ballpark for the Blues game against the Arroyo Seco Saints in Western-themed attire for 50% off your ticket. Giddy up to Western Night on June 19th.
The Stoppers of Sonoma will be hosting the Blues on Tuesday and Wednesday. That game will be available.
Third base umpire having a chat with coach for the Blues. First base umpire standing there with the home plate. Got to back your boy up, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's also one of those situations where, obviously there's no extra umpires available for the game, so just making sure that he's okay and can continue upping the game. I see no reason why he wouldn't be able to, but might have to throw the gear on and get behind the dish if for some reason he's unable to.
Well, last year, and hopefully it won't have to come to this case, but last year we had a situation where an umpire got hit in the head with a foul ball. He had to leave the game and go under concussion protocol. And then exactly like what you said, we had a delay in changing of gear and everything. So then we were working with just 2 umpires in the game. One in the field, one behind home plate.
Obviously
not the ideal situation, but it's, the health and safety of all the players and umpires are more important than the game itself.
Just to recap, the Blues are in a bases-loaded situation in the bottom half of the 5th inning. They're up 5-2 against the California Expos. Caden Cuccia just drew a walk, and a pitch kind of kicked around, and the home plate umpire got nicked on the forearm, created a large gash. He appears to be okay. If anything, just annoyed that he's causing a delay. So throwing out some warm-up pitches is Garrett Sanchez. A lengthy delay here. And the home plate umpire gets an ovation after that. He's bandaged up well. A nice team of 3 in our athletic training staff. Got right on it. They wasted no time getting to it, getting us back into play. Hicks and Bond, the home plate umpire, share a smile, and we're just about ready to get underway again. Bases loaded, 5-2 game Blues lead. Hixenbaum shakes off the cobwebs and gets in the back of the left-handed batter's box. Still Garrett Sanchez out there. 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. First pitch and Hixenbaum gets hit. Second HBP this inning, and another run comes in to score for the Blues.
$3 beers and $4.
You mentioned how it was icing Hixenbaum with the delay. Might ice the pitcher Sanchez, even though he got a couple of warm-up pitchers. Hicks steps in, and the first pitch catches Hicks on the back toe, and back foot, I should say, and another run for the Blues here in the 5th without recording a hit yet in this inning.
Another avoidable mistake there for the California Expos. The error at third as this one sent to left field, and it drops in for a base hit. Comerford rounds first after scoring V-Hill. Here comes another one in Cuccia. 2 RBI single, the Blues pulling away off the bat of Brendan Comerford.
Comerford extends that team RBI lead right there with a good barrel off the hands, but able to get it done down the line. Scores 2. Might have had a play at the plate to get Cuccia, but no throw, and the Blues will take it as they extend their lead to 8. And the bats have come alive today after what has been a slow start offensively to the season for the Blues.
Blues finally put a baseball in play, and it looks like Garrett Sanchez's day is over. A new pitcher for the California Expos. Right after this, Blues up 8-2 on the Slow Blues Streaming Network.
other than the batter. If the batter, it says it's not necessarily an earned run. When is it? When the
New pitcher in for the California Expos. Garrett Sanchez's day is over.
Stepping in now
A
for
new
the
arm, Rudy Amaya, the right-hander from Coalinga Community College. Last season with the Falcons, he made 18 appearances and in 38 2/3 innings pitched, 24 strikeouts, 17 walks, and 20 earned runs. Runners on first and second for the new noodle Amaya. Those runs would go under Sanchez's name as the first pitch is high and inside to Mason Ashlock. Look out.
high and tight to Ashlock, who's 2 for 2 on the day after going 3 for 3 yesterday. He has only recorded 1 out in a Blues uniform, and that came in his first ever at-bat off the bench in Friday's game. But since then, he has reached base safely or recorded a sac fly every time.
Hammers it the opposite way, and it drops in for a base hit. Green light from Regalado as Hicksenbach cruises into home to score. RBI single, Mason Ashlock. He's a hit collector.
A hit collector, a hit machine, whatever you want to call him. I'm going to say he's him after the way he's been playing. He got our dog of the day yesterday, our press box dog of the day, and he's the front runner for dog of the day again today.
You might get another one, you're right. Not if Don Jordan has anything to say about it. He crushed a double in the third inning that drove in the second run of the day for the Blues. Jordan with runners on first and second and 1 out in the fifth. He sends this one straight back for strike 1. Don today is 2 for 3. Double in the third, single in the first, and a fly out to Butler in center field. He's starting to hit stride here in this young season after redshirting his first year at the University of Texas. Battling a lot of injuries, a hamate bone injury, and once he recovered from that in the fall, then it was a rib. 0-1. Jordan swings and misses on a changeup falling off the table. No balls and 2 strikes. Those are 2 really hard injuries to come back from. The hamate is a small bone on your hand. It's a very common non-contact injury that baseball players get. It happens a lot on swings. But that's just everyday stuff. Grabbing things, holding on to stuff, moving your hand. And then the ribs goes without saying. Every breath. 0-2, and Jordan watches the sweeper outside, a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, definitely some resilience from Don Jordan to even be out here playing in a full season this summer after that rib injury. Pretty recent, he just recovered from it about a month ago. I feel like most players at this point would still just be recovering, rehabbing. So instead, Don Jordan's playing right field every day for the Blues.
1-2, and Jordan smokes it and drops it into left center field for a base hit. Comerford rounds third, he'll come in to score. The throw is cut off on the infield. RBI double, Don Jordan, and the Blues make it double digits, 10-2 San Luis Obispo.
The best stretch of hitting that the Blues have had all season long, back-to-back-to-back missiles for Comerford, Ashlock, and Jordan get it done as Don Jordan, I don't know if he's still uncomfortable with that bomb bat, but I would say, I mean, shoot, at this point, I'll buy him a bomb bat to not swing a torpedo.
Looks awfully comfortable to me. He's got to keep it, right?
Yeah, he has to. I know it's not even his bomb bat, too. He's borrowing it from a teammate, so you might have to be like, hey, dude, can I just buy this off you?
It's his now, yeah. Kosei Suzuki now with 2 runners in scoring position, a 10-2 game. And Suzuki swings and sends it straight back for strike 1. Kosei making his Blues debut today from Frank Phillips Community College, a commit to LaSalle University. A cool story with them. Their program went under in 2021. They played their final season, or so we thought. The Explorers are back, and Suzuki will play for them. Fastball missing outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. It's a story you don't see often in the age of NIL. If anything, you see programs going under because of the pressure to pay all your athletes. You see non-revenue sports like baseball start to dissipate. 1-1. Suzuki checks his swing. They appeal. He didn't go. 1-1. to the Kuki Saitama Japan native.
Suzuki led off this inning with a ground out, the only out that is recorded in this inning. So 9 straight Blues reach base safely, or 8 straight Blues, excuse me. And Suzuki's back up with an opportunity to get himself his first RBI in a Blues uniform.
He led off this inning and grounded out to third. He watches a fastball outside, 2 balls and a strike. Now back to the start. Blues batted around in a 6-run 5th inning. We kind of talked about the way their offense functions, and we mentioned the blow-up inning. That's how they operated yesterday, although they didn't see anything as big as this, 6 runs in the 5th. Suzuki cues it to the first baseman Laughlin, who fields the funny bounce. They tap first base in time, but another run comes in to score. Mason Ashlock from third makes it an 11-2 ball game.
You score. All right, $3 beers and $4 beer recording line.
So now it's Brady Alves, who reached on error in the 5th inning and eventually came around to score.
Nate, that was the coolest thing I think I've ever seen at a baseball game. Our PA announcer, Jim, he said Blues score, you score now, 7 times this inning? And right there, he had the fans say it, and they all roared.
First pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1 off the bat of Brady Alves. Alves 0 for 3 today. Fly out to center. Reached on air and a pop out to the first baseman Laughlin. Here's the 0-1. Fastball yanked low and outside, a ball and a strike. Utility man from Fallon, Nevada. Fellow Nevadan Sebastian Lopez should be making his way around the Central Coast pretty soon.
Yeah, probably next weekend would be my best guess.
1-1. There's an off-speed nibbling the outside for a strike. Finished up his 2nd season playing for the Red Hawks at Seattle University. Born and raised a local and moved out to the desert, Las Vegas. Different part of the state from Fallon, which is by Reno. 1-2. Alves holds up his swing on a pitch missing low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Deuce is wild to Brady Alves. Blues have produced 7 runs on just 3 hits this inning. 3 hit by pitches and an error have come in to score for the Expos. Just self-inflicted wounds for California as Alves watches that one high, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Comerford a 2 RBI single, Ashlock an RBI single, Jordan an RBI double. 3-2. And Alves pops it in the air on the right side. Second baseman Chavez comes out and makes the grab backpedaling. But a blow-up inning for San Luis Obispo. A 7 spot in the bottom of the 5th makes it 11-2 Blues. We head into the 6th on the SLO Blues Streaming Network. New pitcher in the top half of the 6th inning. It's Rafael Shirella, a fellow Bulldog, replacing Omar Reynoso from Allen Hancock College. The Blues coming off a big 7 spot in the bottom half of the 5th inning. It's now an 11-2 ball game. That lead inflating for San Luis Obispo. Now just trying to cruise the rest of the way home. Due up, it's the middle of the order. Jimmy Martinez, Caleb Latimer, and Justice Laughlin as the first pitch misses low and outside for a ball on the left-handed hitting Martinez. We talked about guys from the state of Nevada last inning as Martinez swings and misses for strike 1. And Shirella is one of them. Born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada, and a graduate of the coveted Bishop Gorman High School. 1-1. High bouncing ball up the middle. Second baseman dives and he can't get there. Valiant effort from Caden Cuccia, but a base hit to kick off the 6th inning.
Chiarella, the guy who struggled his first time out in a Blues uniform, walking 3. He didn't give up any runs, but he threw 24 pitches and only 10 of them were strikes with his 3 walks. Recorded a strikeout, but was able to get out of the inning via a fielder's choice.
Pitch missing outside, backhanded by Vigil for ball 1. Off to a rough start so far. Hard hit single up the middle. Just perfectly placed. Cuccia couldn't get there in time. 1-0. And this one plunks Latimer right in the back, or so I thought. Did he dodge that?
I didn't see it.
Looks like he got out of the way. So 2 balls and no strikes. Hitters count to the shortstop Latimer with a runner on first base. There's a short lead over there. He picked back over to the bag, and Martinez just takes a step, and he's there. Last season for the Allen Hancock Bulldogs, Chiarella with a 6.26 earned run average and 27 1/3 innings of work. 2-0. This one missing high and outside. 3 balls and no strikes now. As his past outing, so was his spring. 28 walks to 24 strikeouts. As this one hits the outer half for a strike 1.
Yeah, we saw those issues continue here, and like I mentioned in his first outing, 3 walks in his 1 inning of work. He's a ball away from another one.
And there it is, a walk. Back-to-back base runners for the California Expos. They got some work to do, though. Trailing big against the Blues, 11-2 in the top of the 6th inning. 3rd walk of the day for the Expos offense. And now it's Justice Laughlin. The right-hander getting loose in the bullpen for San Luis Obispo. As Laughlin digs in, he's 0 for 1 today with a walk in the 4th. Runners on 1st and 2nd. The first pitch is sent straight back for strike 1. Laughlin from Evangel University, a former Pirate from Porterville. Played yesterday as well, an 0 for 3 afternoon with a hit by pitch. With his baby blue batting gloves, waggling that bomb bat behind his head. 0-1 missing low and outside, a ball and strike. Baby/powder blue, got to be one of the most underrated colors.
I love it. It looks so good, on like a uniform especially.
1-1. Checks his swing on an elevated fastball. They don't appeal. 2 balls and a strike on the pitch above the zone.
I know we're both huge fans of the OC Riptide and their color combo.
Yes.
The pink, orange, powder blue, baby blue with the white. It's just so clean.
2-1, missing inside, 3 balls and a strike. Well, the Oaks also debuted new uniforms last season, a blue-on-blue look, a powder blue and a navy blue uniform. And I like them. I've said it before, big blue-on-blue guy. This one sent up and out of play on the right side, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Right down by the beer cart there. You can take that one home thanks to our friends.
Sort of a fashion no-no.
Now that's better. We'll get your energy
But I'm
back.
with it. No outs, runners on first and second. Here's the payoff. This one missing high and outside for ball 4. A walk to Justice Laughlin fills the bases for Rafael Chirella. Now Bradley, or check that, Gio Chavez coming in.
Can't really find the strike zone right now after giving up that base hit. He's been working the edges, and it's not really working out for Chiarella. He needs to come inside, throw some strikes. The only way that the Expos are going to get back in this game is if the Blues make mistakes, and right now they're doing just that.
First pitch. Barreled out to left field. Hicksonbaugh giving chase, and neither outfielder has an angle on it. One run comes in to score on the extra base hit off the base of the wall. Here comes another. The throw is cut off at third. 2 RBI double from Gio Chavez, his 4th RBI of the day, and his second base hit. Makes it an 11-4 ball game, Blues.
There's where those walks come back to haunt you right away. First pitch to Chavez is a ball hit in the gap, and it's a 2 RBI double. One of the walks that he issued comes from home to score, and now the other one stands on third with no outs.
And Chavez putting the team on his back today. All of the runs have come off his bat for the Expos. Runners at second and third, and the first pitch hits the outside corner for a strike against Bradley Gage. 0 for 1 with a strikeout swinging and a walk in the 4th inning. Oh, 1. Skip slow and outside. Vigil backhands it for a ball. One missing outside. 2 balls and a strike now to Bradley Gage. Recent commit of Midland University. 224 average his lone season at Porterville College. 2-1. Gage sends it straight back at the concession stands. 2 balls and 2 strikes now.
Thanks to the folks at Animal Care Clinic.
Small framed infielder from Lindsay, California at 5'8", 160 pounds. Clubbed a homer and smashed 3 doubles this past season. Drove in 11. He's got 2 sitting out there in the 2-2. Missing low, filling it up at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Right-hander still getting loose in that Blues bullpen. Matt Betancourt from Fresno Pacific getting loose. The left-hander, Chiarella, comes set from the stretch against the righty Gage. The pitch popped up, off to the right. Comerford giving chase at the wall. It's in the bullpen. Do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Again, no one out here in the top of the 6th inning. A 2-run frame for the California Expos. Chiarella trying to stop the bleeding. Got to record an out first. Be huge to get a strikeout against Gage. 3-2. Gage right back up the middle, a base hit. Line drive, base hit into center field, and 2 runs will come in to score for the Expos. Back-to-back base hits. The Expos creep closer in the ball game. It's 11-6 Blues.
When you start to fall behind in the count, you kind of just have to throw the ball out over the plate, and right there, that's what happened. Gage got a fastball right down the middle, and he just ripped it on the line for another back-to-back 2 RBI hits for the Expos, and they've cut the lead from 9 to just 5 now.
Dean Traynor taking his time, heading out towards the mound as he talks to his southpaw. And again, every time Traynor comes out there, it doesn't necessarily mean he's coming out. This time it does, though. The former professional pitcher Dean Traynor replaces Chiarella, and we'll say hello to Betancourt. We'll introduce you to him right after this. Blues up 11-6 on the SLO Blues streaming network. today's final attendance at Sinsheimer Stadium, 1,493 strong here in San Luis Obispo. And a new pitcher, Matt Betancourt, in to replace Rafael Chirella. Another outing to forget. Couldn't even record an out, 3 hits, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. TBD on the runs allowed, as one of his is over at first base. Betancourt delivers the first pitch fastball, and it just misses high to the batter, Zane Thornton, for a ball.
Not a great outing for Chirella. Not recording an out like you just mentioned, Nate. Handing the ball over to Betancourt with one of those runners that he is responsible for still on.
Thornton showed a bunt and pulled it back for strike 1. Betancourt, a right-handed pitcher. They haven't seen one of those since Will Fisher back in the 4th inning. They're in the bottom of the 6th now, an 11-6 ball game. Here's the 1-1. Missing low and outside, 2 balls and a strike. And Dean Traynor just kind of seems to have an endless vat of relief pitchers to go into. A lot of bodies out there in the bullpen. Two-one. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Pulled the string on him. He got the swing and miss, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner on first, a 4-run inning for the Cal Expos. No outs. Here's the 2-2. Pitch just missing outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Did not miss by much. A really good take by Thornton to just lay off that fastball that, like I mentioned, just missed the outside.
Thornton, who hasn't played an official college game in 2 years, digging in the plate. And the payoff pitch. Sweeper fouled behind home plate. We'll do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. There's really no in between with this Expos team. They either go down super quickly like they did in the first 3 frames, or they battle and they chip away and they fight to get base hits like they have in the 4th and the 6th. Even inning magic? You know something about that as a Giants fan with even numbers. 3-2 sent straight back up the middle. Another base hit for the Expos. Zane Thornton keeps the line moving. That's the 3rd hit in a row for California this inning. We'll flip it to the top of the order in Gavin Enns, who's 0 for 3 today, but would like to join the hit party now. Only 3 hitters in today's lineup for California that do not have a base hit, and Enns is one of them. 7 knocks on the day total for California. Runners on first and second, still no outs in the 6th inning. Sweeper missing outside, 1-0. Enns from Fresno Pacific University, just like the pitcher Matt Betancourt. This one in there for a strike. And it looks like Enns' day is over after his 2 strikeout outing and the fly out to left. It's now Elijah Garay. One. This one nubbed and spun off the backstop. A ball and 2 strikes now. Fans are just looking for out number 1 in this inning as they call for their hot sauce. 1-2 count to the backstop from Reedley College. Fastball missing upstairs, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And this bullpen just can't stand success. They seem to get these good counts and then they fill it back up with balls and ends up in a walk or a knock. 2-2. Sweeper missing downstairs, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, we're already on pitcher 7 for the Blues in this game in the 6th inning, and you got to wonder, I know the Blues have a lot of pitchers on the roster, but you know, how many of them are available at this point? They burned through a couple yesterday, a couple on Friday.
3-2, called for strike 3. Blues get their first out of the inning on a strikeout to the pinch hitter, Elijah Garay.
403 is the number on the program that will.
A big out for the Blues. See if you can get a ground ball and get out of what's been a horrendous inning.
Batting down number 7, Kai Butler.
And it's Kai Butler now. Butler 0 for 3 as well. Strikeout thrown in there against Hunter Hammond. First pitch is a nubber to the first baseman Comerford, who backhands it, goes to second for one, on to first, and the throw won't be in time. Blues get the force out at second base. Runners at first and third now with 2 gone.
2 pitches, 2 outs. The strikeout looking, and then you get a ground ball, fielder's choice, and now you're an out away from getting out of the inning and getting the bats back up, who just scored 7 runs in the last inning.
So now it's Cam Bowen. Cam 1 for 3, a single in the 4th. Ended the 5th inning with a strikeout swing. First pitch. Bowen watches it for strike 1. Cam from Reedley College. Central Valley Conference, 2nd team this past season at Reedley. Very nice 2-year career on varsity in high school. 0-1 missing high and outside, a ball and a strike. A career 371 hitter. High school at Edison High School. Drove in 10 runs in that career as well. No homers. Runner goes at second. Here's the throw down. It bounces over the glove of Cuccia and into center field. Another run comes in to score for the Expos. Bradley Gage from third makes it an 11-7 game. A 5-run 6th inning. Sloppy inning for the Blues. Giving the Expos a chance. 1-2, missing high and outside. Evens it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Betancourt comes set and peeks at second base, now kicks and deals. 2-2 is tipped and sent to the backstop. Do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bowen with 14 career strikeouts in high school, 27 this past season at Reedley. 6 foot, 190-pound rising sophomore. Runner takes off to third and catches everyone sleeping. Alves was playing off the bag. No one was holding on. Butler at second. He saw an opening and just jetted. 2 stolen bases for Kai Butler. Puts another runner 90 feet away for the Expos. 2-2. Tapper behind home plate will do it again in the same count. Kind of a dog days of summer inning for San Luis Obispo. And they're counting their blessings that they had that 7-run 5th to keep the lead over California, because if not, they're trailing in this game. 2-2. Fastball missing high, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
It's been a rough inning, but you're 1 strike away from getting out and getting this 3 outs over with and just moving on, flipping the page to the next chapter.
Bouncing ball to the third baseman, Alves. It's a fair ball, long throw across the diamond, and it's not in time. Really weird route taken by Bowen over to first base, but he's safe. An RBI infield base hit makes it an 11-8 game now. Blues were up by 8. That has shrunk to 3. First one is a missile off the middle and off second base into center. 5th hit this inning, or 6th hit this inning.
Second by Jimmy Martinez. He led off the inning with a single, later scored, and right there, a 2-out single.
That's what got this whole thing started. And the unfortunate thing for the Blues is that if they're not finding the zone, they're walking, obviously. But if they put a pitch over the plate, these guys are handling it. This one's in there for a strike, 0-1.
What's hurting the Blues so much is that in a lot of these counts where the Expos are getting base hits is they're falling behind in the count still. It's 2-0, it's 2-1, it's 3-1, and it's hitter counts where they're just expecting fastballs.
0-1's a big hack at a breaking ball for strike 2.
Even that Cam Bowen single, it was a full count, but he was up in the count 2-1, and then it was up 3-1.
With 2 gone, here's the 0-2. Off speed, just missing inside. Didn't miss by much. The hitter Latimer might have gotten a call there. Either way, the count's a ball and 2 strikes.
And as an umpire, you might give that call to a pitcher if they're throwing well, but so far Betancourt's just given up a bunch of hits.
1-2, another fastball misses outside. We've seen that get called a strike today as well. Count moves to 2-2.
It's kind of a thing where if you're pounding the strike zone, the umpire will give you some more calls because you're doing a good job at just finding the plate.
2-2, and that's called a strike 3. Fastball that was about a ball and a half farther out than the one that was originally called a ball, but either way, the Blues get out of a nightmare inning. A 6 spot at the top of the 6 brings it within 3. 11-8 Blues heading into the bottom of the 6th inning, which is brought to you by Educational Employees Credit Union. Sixth inning brought to you by Educational Employees Credit Union, proudly serving the Central Coast. EECU is located in Paso Robles and can be found at myeecu.org. Experience smarter banking at Educational Employees Credit Union. Well, following a disastrous 6-run top of the 6th inning for the Blues, Diego Murillo leads it off, and he chases the elevated fastball for strike 1. 1-1 count to the Blues shortstop, who is 0 for 1 on the day, a hit by pitch and a walk. He did come in to score one of the many runs they collected in the 5th, a 7 spot, which is helping keeping the Blues afloat so far today. Murillo off his front foot and foul ground. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Diego. Blues went through 2 pitchers, Rafael Schirella, Matt Betancourt, letting up a combined 6 runs on 7 hits. This is coming right after the Blues put up 7 runs themselves in the bottom of the 5th. So Murillo watches that offering outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Offering ample rest time for Rudy Amaya in a crucial moment because the Expos are quickly running out of arms they can go to in their pen. 2-2. And Murillo leaves the off speed inside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. There are only 6 official pitchers listed on their roster. And that's all they brought to their trip to San Luis Obispo. Kind of a question mark to see who comes after Amaya if they even go there. 3-2. And Diego hits this one off the hands, leaking into shallow left field for a base knock. Leadoff single for the Blues gets things going in the bottom half of the 6th.
Very handsy swing by Murillo. That's just pure strength to catch that one off the bad part of the bat and get it out into the outfield.
So it looks like we have a pinch hitter in for the Blues as well. Blake Gregory, a high schooler who survived the mass exodus of young players that left this roster. He follows after that Murillo single. So V-Hill's day is done. A single in the second, reached on air, and reached on a fielder's choice in the fifth where he came around to score. Gregory watches that pitch high, 2 balls and no strikes. Murillo's first base hit of the day. Gets things going in the home half of the 6th inning, 11-8 Blues. Gregory watches the four-seamer in the outer half. 2 balls and a strike. Standing on deck, it's the leadoff man, Caden Cuccia. Peak at first base as Murillo gets an aggressive lead at the bat. Takes off towards second. The pitch is low and inside. Gage can't glove it. Stolen bag. Diego Murillo.
Got another fast speed seat cushion for you, number 1393.
And all of a sudden, we're in a ball game where every run counts.
Fast speed seat cushion.
It's an absolute boat race before that 6-run 6th inning for California. That was 3-run lead for San Luis Obispo. Inside move at second base, and the throw goes into center field. So unfortunately for Murillo, this shortstop Latimer was on top of him. He couldn't quite get up and book it towards third. He stays at the bag. 3-1 counts to the pinch hitter Blake Gregory. (3-1). Gregory leaves that one downstairs for a walk. Back-to-back base runners for the Blues. They're in business here in the 6th.
Productive at bat off the bench for Gregory.
Now the top of the lineup for Caden Cuccia, who is 0 for 2 today. Reached on an error in the first, fly out to left, and then a walk and hit by pitch. He scored 2 runs on each of those plate appearances. 2 runners on for him now, and he shows bunt. Pops it up. The pitcher, Amaya, can't get there, and finally gloves it and throws it over to first. The sacrifice is successful. So Murillo now at third, and Gregory at second base. And tees it up for Jake Hicksenbaugh. 1 for 3 today, a single in the first, a strikeout looking liner to center, and a hit by pitch.
Jake Hicksenbaugh is the batter.
First pitch, and Hicksenbaugh watches the changeup dip below the zone for ball 1.
Love what I saw from Hicks right there. He got ready for that pitch thinking it might be in the zone and looked ready to crush it, but as soon as it ducked down below, just pulled it back and didn't offer at it.
1-0. Hicksenbaugh holds up his swing on the elevated four-seamer. 2 balls and no strikes now. Now he wants to get a pitch he can hammer. In a hitter's count, you can be a little greedy here and a little picky.
He told us at Monterey Peninsula he was knocking the ball around the yard, hitting it hard, just wasn't getting the results he wanted. And I think we've seen it from him this summer too. He's hitting the ball pretty hard.
2-0. He hits this one hard and drops it into right field, a base knock. 1 run is in. Here comes another. The throw at the plate, not in time. Hicksenbaugh takes off towards second. That throw goes into center field. He trots into third safely. RBI single, Jake Hicksenbaugh. The Blues extend 13-8.
Just as we're talking about how he's hitting the ball hard but not getting the results he wants, 94 off the bat, and he gets the results that he likes.
And at the plate, Brendan Comerford.
13-8 game now. Blues pull away. 6-run lead now for San Luis Obispo. And it's Comerford up with a runner at third. Comerford with a wild hack at that slider for a strike. Become 1 for 4 today. 2 RBI single in the 5th inning. 0-1, missing well outside. Pops out of the glove of Gage. He's able to retrieve it quickly. One and one count to Brendan Comerford, the RBI leader on this squad. From the windup, here's the pitch. Brendan leaves it for the Birds upstairs, 2 balls and a strike. The future Bulldog of Gonzaga on the 2-1. Brendan holds up his swing on a fastball inside, 3 balls and a strike now. 2 triples, 9 doubles this past summer with the Blues. Now returning on the 3-1, and that's a called strike. .50-50 call, but on a 3-1 count as a hitter, probably not swinging at that.
Yeah, it's a tough pitch in a hitter's count, up and in.
3-2, and Comerford leaves that one inside. Honestly, that looked more like a strike to me than the first pitch. Yeah, either way, it's a walk.
Yeah, that pitch was in the same exact spot, if not, like you mentioned, in a better spot.
Now at the plate for the Blues, it's Mason Ashlock.
So here's Mason Ashlock, who is on pace to be our dog of the day.
Yeah.
3-hit afternoon, 3 RBIs. And now a meeting at the mound.
Rate.com, Radiology Associates, promotional concept.
Going it over with Rudy Amaya. And as I said, each arm is precious for the California Expos. Only 6 pitchers listed on their roster.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to, or it's going to be interesting to see what they do after Amaya can't go anymore. And it'll be tough for them to continue playing this game with a bunch of position players out there on the mound, or guys who probably threw maybe in high school last, or maybe even, little league. 50, 70 days might be the last time that they've touched the bump.
We saw Kate O'Hara do that. We saw that magic happen right between our eyes, though. Anything's possible. Here's Mason Ashlock, though. Runners at first and third, a 13-8 game. Pick over to first. They almost got away. Laughlin kept it in front.
I think Laughlin tried to deke out Hicksonball a little bit, though. On the errant throw, he stopped it and stumbled as if he didn't have it to see if Hicksonball was going to go home.
Good feel. First pitch, and this one's a spinning ball down the first base line. It'll be foul. Ashlock from Dripping Springs, Texas, trying to pursue a business degree wherever he ends up. Was going to Nebraska, but recently decommitted from the Cornhuskers a few days ago. Long hold on the 0-1, and the pitch comes out of the hand. That's a balk. Hicksonball comes in to score as Rudy Amaya lost control of the baseball as he was separating into his throw.
$3 beers and $4 field recording.
I can confidently say I've never seen that before.
Yeah, usually the pitcher doesn't lose the ball, but they might, not have a great grip on it, and it might just slip and go wild, or, they might just not throw it if they don't have the greatest grip. But right there, just completely loses it and shoots it over to first base like a pinball.
You can tell he's working on the scap pinch. That's what they talk about with pitching mechanics, right? Pinching the scap as you separate your 2 shoulder blades like you're holding a PVC pipe. 1-1. And Ashlock gets underneath this one. He popped it up and out of play on the right side. A ball and 2 strikes. Amaya was channeling that for sure. I think he just forgot about the holding the baseball.
Thanks to the Animal Care Clinic for sponsoring.
Obviously didn't forget. It just slipped out of his fingertips.
I mean, it happens, I guess, especially if you're out there trying new things. It messes with your mechanics a little bit.
Runner at second. Here's the 1-2. Ashlock watches that go downstairs. Comerford thought about taking off towards second, but it retreats to the bag. 2-2 count to the DH batting fourth today for the Blues. Season at Temple College with the Leopards. A season at Weatherford College with the Coyotes. And to be determined. Certainly has the numbers for the next level. Ashlock leaves that one on top of home plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes. A proven player for sure. And a Clydesdale-like build. 6'4", 205. Producing some ungodly slugging numbers. Showing it off here in the Blues this summer. Payoff pitch, just got underneath it, but he hits it deep to right center field. Butler arranging to his left, makes the grab. But Comerford tags from second and trots into third.
It's the first time that Mason Ashlock has hurt his average since his first at-bat in the Blue.
There you go. Kind of just tells you all you need to know right there about what his career has been like with the Blues and how he played at Weatherford College this past season.
And his about 10 plate appearances: walk, base hit, walk, RBI triple, base hit, walk, sac fly, base hit, RBI base hit, fly out.
Jordan puts it on the ground left side, diving is Thornton. He gets up and launches it to first. The throw not in time. Infield base hit for Don Jordan, his 4th of the day.
You score. More and more.
Don Jordan giving Ashlock a run for his money and see who's going to be our player of the game. Don got it in our first dog of the game, or first dog of the day, excuse me, that we did on Friday.
3 of Jordan's 4 hits today have produced runs for San Luis Obispo, as it's now a 15-8 lead for the Blues. Kosei Suzuki digs in. Suzuki with a check swing. They say he went around for a strike. Suzuki coming from all the way in Japan. He was born and raised. The 0-1 bounces him off the chest plate of Gage, and Jordan takes off towards second base. This throw goes into center, but Butler was playing shallow and is able to retrieve it before Jordan could advance. Suzuki is Mr. Worldwide, essentially. Born and raised in Japan, played prep ball in Australia, now in the States. One count, and Suzuki hits it off the knob of the bat, rolls on the on-deck circle. 2-1 to the utility man. From Frank Phillips Community College, a LaSalle commit. One-two. Suzuki swings and fouls it off the shin of Gage. Stays alive in the count on a ball and 2 strikes once again. Kosei with a cherry red oven mitt in his back right pocket. Well, the colors of Frank Phillips. 1-2. Leaves that one high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Frank Phillips is red. What colors are LaSalle University?
Green and yellow? I just guessed because of De La Salle being green and yellow.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
You got yellow, kind of. Gold.
Gold.
Navy blue.
I like it. Like Navy.
Yes, very similar, actually. Off the hands in front of the Expos dugout. We'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's kind of similar now that I think of it, because the Navy midshipmen have a goat for like their logo, and I think LaSalle does too. But they're the Explorers. Swing and a miss, strike 3 called. And Suzuki goes down swinging, but not before the Blues add some insurance with 4 runs in the bottom half of the 6th inning. It's 15-8, San Luis Obispo, and it off to Ryan Giacomini the rest of the way on the Slow Blues Streaming Network.
Blues get 4 back in the bottom of the 6th, and now due up, it's Laughlin, Chavez, and Gage for the California Expos, who trail this game by 7. It's 15-8. First pitch to Laughlin as a ball. Laughlin has walked twice today and grounded out in the 2nd inning. In the last 9 outs recorded between these two teams, there has been 17 runs scored. As new pitcher for the Blues is Zach Savino. He pumps in a fastball at 89 miles an hour to go ahead in the count, 1-2. That one is fouled off. Scoreboard actually has 2-2, so that'll even up the count there.
Savino finishing up his senior season at Atascadero High School, just up the road here. 15 innings pitched this past year as a senior. 18 strikeouts, 16 walks.
That one is nubbed off the hands to shortstop. Actually, it's the third baseman, Alves. The throw over to Comerford. Good stretch, good play over at first base by Beacom to get the first out of the inning.
And a nice athletic play by Alves. He had a long way to go, and that infield grass deadened that ball, which was not coming off the bat hot anyways. Nice athletic play by the third baseman, Alves, and also a good stretch from Comerford.
And next is Gio Chavez, 2 for 3 on the day. A strikeout in the 2nd, 2 RBI single in the 4th, and a 2 RBI double in the 6th inning. 90-mile-an-hour fastball. First pitch to him is a called strike.
Savino has been lighting it up on the radar gun, living in the upper 80s, lower 90s. Had a 2.33 ERA with the Greyhounds this past season. Makes sense with velocity like that. That plays at the high school level for sure, and in the college level.
That one off the hands as well, but flared in front of Don Jordan in right field. A 1-out hit for Gio Chavez. His 3rd hit of the day. He has been producing very nicely for the Expos after not having his best day yesterday, going 0 for 3. That one wasn't hit as hard as his other 2 hits, just 70 miles an hour, but nonetheless, it gets the job done.
Yeah, Chavez accounts for half of the runs produced by the Expos today. They have 8, and Chavez has 4 RBIs.
That one in the dirt and skips past the glove of the new catcher, Blake Gregory. Advancing up to 2nd is Chavez on the wild pitch. That one misses in the dirt. 2-0. For those of you who are Mustang fans, Cal Poly fans, and have been tuning into our broadcast rather than their game, their elimination game at the Eugene Regional. Currently up 6-4 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Gave up a grand slam, as that one is fisted foul off to the right. Gave up a grand slam in the 3rd inning, but then came back in the bottom of the 4th and scored 4 runs of their own to retake the lead.
Quit is not in that team's vocabulary.
Absolutely not. A comeback win yesterday over number 12 ranked nationally, Oregon, as that one off the hands, up the middle, fielded by Murillo and over to first for the 2nd out of the inning.
Nice play by Murillo. Just kept it simple, charged the baseball, went ball first. Easy transition into the hand. He's practiced that one once or twice.
Something you definitely practice all the time, but it does not get easier. Coming and charging the ball and then having to make a throw on the run while still going, with your momentum still going towards home plate, is not an easy play to make. Now 2 outs as Zane Thornton steps in.
Here's number 18, Zane Thornton.
He was the first batter to face Matt Betancourt in the last inning, and got himself a hit and then was thrown out trying to extend it into a double. Or excuse me, he got thrown out on a fielder's choice. Fastball misses low and in. The Expos trail it by 7. They have a runner on third with 2 outs and a 2-1 count as a big swing and a miss over the top is Zane Thornton.
Taco trucks have a last call in 10 minutes. Last call for
playing
Taco.
third today. Listed as a shortstop and a right-handed pitcher. Moving over to the hot corner. Finds himself in a 2-2 count with 2 outs. Here's the kick and the deal. Flared into right field. Don Jordan ranges over to his left, squeezes it with one hand to make the third out of the inning. It's time to stretch here in San Luis Obispo as the Blues lead it by 7 here on the SLO Blues streaming network. (15-8) Blues are here on the Central Coast as the Nevada native Brady Alves will lead off for the Blues. And look at ball 1. He's followed by Murillo and Gregory. Alves hits that one on the ground to the right side, fielded by the second baseman Chavez. He throws it over to first for the first out of the inning. 2 pitches, 1 out to start the bottom half of the 7th after the Blues have scored in the last 4 frames. 1 in the first, none in the second, 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 7 in the fifth, and 4 in the sixth. Now it's Murillo. He scored twice already this game. He walked, he was hit by a pitch, stole a bag, as he crushes that one. High, but foul.
My goodness, Ryan. He barely missed that pitch.
And that one had home run distance all over it, but just a little early. He straightens that ball out. It's over the C trains out in left field. Instead, it's just a long strike. As gets on top of that one and fouls it straight back. Very quickly, it's 0-2.
A cricket home run. Why do they call it C train?
I don't know. Yeah, that's gonna be me. You know who would know? My best friend, ChatGPT. That one is ripped as well down the left field line for a base hit. Murillo has his second hit of the game. And it's going to be a one-out single as the Blues are back in business as they look to extend the lead.
95 off the bat. That was roped from Murillo, his second base knock of the day. Got on with a walk and a hit by pitch, popped out to the second baseman Chavez, and now kind of hitting a groove here. He had been a while since he saw the field, and now he's seen a lot of pitches, and good to see him rope that one down the line.
And steps a left-hander wearing the number 33 of Blake Gregory. But not Blake Gregory. We'll try to get you that name of who this is. It is a called strike to him with a runner on first. Quick move over to first, diving back is Murillo. Floater is a called strike two. Are you trying to still figure out what C-trains are, why they're called C-trains?
I got our answer.
Do you? See what it is after the pitch here. That one misses up and away.
So these storage containers are, you see them a lot on shipping yards.
Yes.
Because they put them on big, slow cargo boats.
Mm-hmm.
They're called sea containers, S-E-A, for the
Oh.
sea. But the shorthand is just the letter C.
Full count offering. This one flared into left field. Hit and run was on. But Murillo will have to trot his way back to first base as it is caught by the left fielder Garay for the second half out of the inning.
So yeah, it's a shorthand because I guess it just takes too long to add those two letters.
It appears that batter was Blake Gregory. He is now batting from the left side as well as the right side. Our roster says righty-righty. It's possible it's a mistake on there, but I believe he was batting righty yesterday. Or excuse me, yesterday was Brody Miller. I believe we've seen him batting from the right side. Maybe I'm incorrect.
I recall that.
Murillo, pretty sizable lead over at first. They just checked on him. As they throw over again with Caden Cuccia in the box, the Kenyatta College second baseman. Scored all three times he's reached base safely. He's walked twice, and the other time he reached was on an error in the first. He's also grounded out and flown out. So an 0 for 3 day, technically, for Cuccia, is the second pitch to come home, is a called strike. Off speed pitch, can't quite come back into the zone. And the count evens up at 1-1.
Awfully close though. It was a really nice take from Caden Cuccia.
Cuccia, pretty neutral stance, waggling that bat from the left side. Same pitch, this time a little closer to the plate, and it's a called strike to Cuccia.
And it gotta be tough with two now, choking up on that bat a little bit. Caden has not struck out today. A walk and a hit by pitch.
Wearing number 37 today as he swings and chops that one over to second base, and it gets under the glove of Chavez. Going to third is Murillo, as Cuccia will reach base safely for the second time via an E4. Sixth error of the game for the Expos.
Still waiting on the diagnosis, hit versus error, and technically the ball did not touch the second baseman Chavez's glove, so I think it will actually go down as a base hit for Cuccia, and that's his first hit of the day.
That one chopped just foul as the first baseman, Laughlin tried to keep it in fair territory and get the easy out at first, but to no avail, as Hixenbaugh will get another opportunity.
And what do we say on ground balls like that, Ryan, that are chopping over to the infield, and this time it went underneath his glove? Down to up.
Down to up, man. Down to up. That one misses outside. You know, my days playing are long over, but you know, still partake in the intramural softball every once in a while, and usually I'm out there playing shortstop, and the ball will go under my glove, and I'm like, I tell myself this every day, down to up. I tell people on a broadcast down to up, and then I don't do it myself.
It sure is easy to tell people to do it.
Hixenbaugh hits that one hard, but foul. He is just squaring up baseballs, not necessarily keeping them in play all the time, but like that ball was crushed, and his last base hit was crushed as well.
There's two sides to that, right? Because you're squaring it up and you know you're so close to producing a base hit, but then on the opposite side of that coin, it's just another strike for you, and the reality hits that you have to get back in the box and try to straighten it out.
That time he swings and misses over the changeup for strike three, as he lets out a little bit of a roar. Not too happy with that result after that hard hit ground ball foul. But the Blues strand two on 2 base hits and do not score a run. They still lead it by 7 as we head into the top half of the 8th inning here on the SLO Blues Streaming Network. New pitcher for the Blues. They are 9th of the game as it's Jaden Turner. He steps in and throws a first pitch fastball for a strike. Turner has thrown this year for the Blues already. He saw 3 innings of work where he recorded a win he pumps in strike 2 at 89 miles an hour. Gave up 3 hits and earned run, 5 strikeouts, no walks. Good for 15 strikeouts per 9 in his debut as a Blue. The 0-2 is fouled back, and we'll do it again.
Big strikeout guy, Jaden Turner. He's got the stuff, obviously the heavy fastball at 90 miles an hour. And take a look at this, 81 strikeouts in his 76 and a third innings pitched at Allen Hancock College.
That'll play. Allen misses up and away. 1-2 you love to see a strikeout to walk ratio that's 2 or higher.
Sure do.
I'd say that's around the threshold of good. And he's well above that, almost at 3-1 as he gets a strikeout here. Swing and a miss over the top of the off-speed pitch as Elijah Garay goes down swinging. His second strikeout of the day after pinch hitting for Gavin Enns in the 6th inning.
Golden sombrero for that leadoff spot today. 2 strikeouts for Enns and now 2 for Garay.
Now 3 backwards as well as first pitch to Butler is fouled off the catcher Gregory at 90 miles an hour. Kai Butler played yesterday and had himself quite the day with 3 walks. He was just getting on base every time he came up to the plate pretty much. Today, not as much the case. A strikeout, a ground out, 2 ground outs, and then reached on a fielder's choice, stole 2 bases and later scored in that 6-run 6th inning.
Kai Butler's got the speed to steal bags. He stole 1 yesterday, along with those 2 today, a 6.6 second 60-yard dash. That's moving.
That's moving. Ball does not miss by much outside, and the Aces are free. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out with Jaden Turner, number 11, on the mound. As that one is squared foul towards the Blues dugout, late on that fastball. 90 miles an hour once again.
Yeah, these guys are having some difficulties catching up to the four-seamer of Jaden Turner. You can just kind of see it in the way the right-handed hitters are fouling off pitches all the opposite way.
Turner gets another strikeout, this time swinging as Kai Butler goes down. Back-to-back bottles of hot sauce given out here at the ballpark.
How about some Fuego upstairs? Elevated fastball, 90 miles an hour, gets Kai Butler to go chasing.
The fastball at 90 has to just look quicker because he goes from this semi wind-up, but then the release is so quick. It's straight back and then down, and it has that good velocity with good run, and it's just so hard for these hitters to catch up to.
2,300 rotations per minute on that four-seamer, too.
That's pretty good, especially for a college guy, as that one comes in his fastest pitch of the outing, 91 miles an hour, has Kai Bowen swinging through it. Bowen 2 for 4, a strikeout, an RBI single, another single in the 4th as that fastball misses upstairs, and then reached on an error in the 1st.
The 2,300 rotations per minute, that's a moldable number that coaches can work with too. That's a good base if you go to a 4-year and they put you in the lab. It's a good starting point.
Very good. The typical MLB average for a four-seam fastball and RPMs is 2,300, which is exactly what Turner is at already. That one is fouled off. Count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes to the 3-hole hitter. Bowen also played in yesterday's game. He swings and misses, strike 3. Strikes out the side. How about it for Jaden Turner as he sends them down in order. As I remind you that this break and the next half inning is brought to you by SLO County Golf. Nate and I love doing that. 3 incredible locations here in SLO. Comerford, Ashlock, and Jordan due up. As I remind you that this half inning is brought to you by SLO County Golf, with 3 incredible locations in SLO County: SLO, Morro Bay, and Atascadero. They offer a unique combination of beautiful scenery and affordable prices. Book your next tee time at slocountygolf.com. As there's also a new pitcher for the California Expos. It's Jimmy Martinez, the designated hitter, comes in on the mound. The lefty faces Brendan Comerford, who already has 2 RBIs and a base hit in today's game, and he has himself a soft liner for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, just missing on the timing there. Brendan Comerford has such a pull side swing, and when you have timing like that, if it's not perfect, it's hard to punish it the opposite way. He kind of hit it off the end of the bat there. Very easy play for the first baseman, Laughlin. He didn't even pick up his feet.
Yeah, it was right at him. You mentioned just barely missing that ball, just caught it off the knob a little bit. Martinez, today's designated hitter, as I mentioned, so they'll forfeit that. 6 foot, 205-pound lefty out of Porterville, California. Attended Porterville High School, now plays for the Porterville Pirates.
All right, and I have a decision to make. We're looking at our dog of the day, Mason Ashlock or Don Jordan. I guess these next 2 plate appearances will kind of give us our answer, maybe.
Yeah, I think honestly it's the dead tie right now. Ashlock at the plate, Jordan on deck, so they both are going to get in that bat. If one of them gets a hit and one doesn't, it might propel the other.
See, I have a case for Don Jordan, though.
Yeah, I mean, Don Jordan does have 4 hits, rather. Ashlock has 3. They both have 3 RBIs. Don Jordan has an extra base hit. I'd say right now it has to be Don Jordan. But, I mean, Ashlock's at the plate. Never know what can happen. He's ahead in the count, in the hitters count 3-1 against Jimmy Martinez.
Let's get a Mason Ashlock in the chat if you want him.
This one is fouled back, and the count runs full. How about this, Nate?
Yeah.
I think I can run a poll.
Actually?
I think so.
Okay,
yep,
let's
poll.
think of the fans.
Ask a question. Dog of the day.
This is actually huge.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was well, I did know it was a thing, I guess. Don Jordan, as Ashlock draws a walk, so he reaches base safely. Both of them have already received one this weekend. We started it on Friday, so whoever gets this will be our first ever multi-winner. As I'm gonna send this live. I don't know how long it's live for. But there's now a poll I think you could vote on in the chat to see who the dog of the day is, whether it's Don Jordan or Mason Ashlock. We'll use that in our decision process. As Jordan steps in, waving that pink bomb bat like he's done all weekend as he grounds that one softly to third. Not going to be a play at second. Not going to be a play at first. An infield single, and then an error will move Ashlock over to third. Don Jordan's 5th hit of the game.
I think that's
that's
the nail in the coffin, I think.
I think so as well. So, more than likely their final stat lines. Mason Ashlock goes 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs, 3 base hits, a sac fly, and a walk. Don Jordan, 5 for 6 with 3 RBIs and a double. Nate, I see your scorecard over there. They ruled that a single in the first and then moved on the throw.
Got it.
Yeah, so only 1 extra base hit for him in this game. As he takes off for second, is he also going to have a stolen base? And no, he doesn't, but it allows Mason Ashlock to come in and score. So the bases are now empty with 2 outs for Kosei Suzuki, a very different situation than what he was originally intending.
I'll say.
But the run does score. Ashlock moved over via the error on the throw by the third baseman, and later scored. Don Jordan caught stealing. Does anyone? Do we have some votes? Yeah, Don Jordan won the vote, 100-0.
Yeah,
100% to nothing. So that's our dog of the day. We'll have to next weekend during the pregame show. We'll talk about it. We'll take a picture and we'll put it on the broadcast for everyone to see what the dog of the day wall looks like. It just sits behind Nate and I, a little off to the left in the press box here. That one is fouled back. Usually it's a collective effort amongst all the press box interns to determine who it is, but I think today the collective is just going to be Don Jordan.
It's got to be.
Deuce is wild. This one swung on and hit pretty well. Going back on it is the right fielder, Garay. It's going to bounce over his head. One hops off the bottom of the wall. Heading to second is Suzuki. He has a 2-out double. His first hit in the Blues uniform.
90 miles an hour and smoked. Garay never had a good angle on it, but I don't think it really mattered. One hopper off the wall. Suzuki caught barrel, gets extra bases in the 8th.
Very good swing from Suzuki. We were really excited about his numbers coming into today's game. And he hadn't really shown it to us yet. He had a walk, he had an RBI, but nothing yet. That one, he was out in front of that pitch, and he still was able to get the bat around and hit it over the head of Garay. A 2-out double brings up Brady Alves, who is 0 for 5 today. Stole a bag and later scored after reaching on an error in the 5th. Popped out twice, flown out, and grounded out as well. There's an opportunity to get himself an RBI with Suzuki in scoring position, a speedy runner out there with his crimson sliding mitt.
Well, and we watched Suzuki swing pretty extensively before the game because it was a new player who wanted to learn about him. They didn't have batting practice today, so didn't get the opportunity to talk with the boys. But it's a pure swing. It's in the zone for a really long time, and it looks like you're able to get to many pitches in the zone with a swing like that. What's funny is that he can produce so much pop with the small frame he has, just standing in at 5'8", and he can hit it around the yard with the best of them.
Swing and foul tipped, almost caught by the catcher, Gage, but dropped, and Alves will live to see another day.
A new life here in a 1-2 count, so it's going to give you a good feeling. The right side of the infield wide open as Chavez holds on Suzuki at second base.
Here it is, back up the middle, fielded by Latimer. The throw over to first will end the inning as Latimer trips over the bag at second, but he still gets the out. The Blues get another run and have doubled up the California Expos. It's 16-8 as we head into the top of the 9th inning here on the SLO Blues Streaming Network. Pitcher number 10 for the Blues, introducing to you, it is Chase Rogers, the 6 foot, 195-pound righty out of Lafayette in Dana Point, California. Did not see any action at Lafayette his 2024 season, but this last year in his 3 appearances threw an inning and a third. Gave up 3 earned runs, a walk, 2 strikeouts, gave up 3 doubles to the inning and a third that he threw. As he throws a strike to the first batter of the inning, and the pitcher, Jimmy Martinez.
Lafayette, Ryan?
I mean, I am looking at it as that one is grounded over to first base. Comerford will step on it himself, and then as they're trying to throw it around, he throws it to Mason Ashlock in left field. Or Jake Higginbotham, excuse me, in left. I mean, I honestly still don't know. It's some sort of cat. Is it like, it looks like a cheetah or a panther? Like, it's not a lion, a bobcat? Like, what is that?
You're about to name every big cat except theirs.
It's just bullying at this point.
No, we got to educate you.
That's true.
Educate the fans as well.
Well, like, I do know some niche ones, but they have to have some sort of, like, significance in my life prior to the Blues.
This is why we do this, though. This is why we need the
That's
reps.
True. That's true.
It's not meant to embarrass you. It's an exercise.
I'm looking at this and I don't know what it is.
You named like every big cat except this one.
But I said cheetah, lion, bobcat, pumas?
No.
Dude,
how are you doing this,
dude? I don't know.
The leopards.
Oh my god, that's totally a leopard too. Hey, when I do get it though, we throw a party.
Yeah, you got one the other day.
Yeah, the peacocks.
Yeah.
of St. Peter's.
There you go.
1-1 is fouled back by Caleb Vladimir. He is 1 for 3. Excuse me, the count runs to 2-2. He grounded out to the pitcher in the second on a bunt attempt. Singled and scored in the 4th, walked and scored in the 6th, and struck out looking also in the 6th to end the 6th inning. He batted twice in that 6-run inning. So he fouls it back, and we'll do the 2-2 offering once more. Here it is, the sidewinder fouls it straight back underneath us. Look out, as that ball will go home with a fan.
Don't look now, Ryan. But standing on deck is yesterday's starter, Colton Isom.
Isom not listed on our roster as a hitter, but I believe when I was prepping him yesterday, I did see that he hit in high school, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if I can pull that up or if my iPad's going to be funky wonky on me.
He hit at Porterville as well.
He hit at Porterville, yeah. And it wasn't bad. I mean, 210 and 100 at-bats as that one is ripped to the right side and through for a base hit. A one-out hit for the – I don't even want to call him a PO. He's not a PO. 100 at-bats.
Not a PO. He's a two-way guy.
A two-way. Justice Laughlin's day is done. Goes 0 for 2, a couple of walks. Colton Isom. Isom yesterday threw 5 innings and gave up 5 runs. Did not hit in yesterday's game, but today we'll get an opportunity batting from the right side as he scoots out of the way of that sinker from the sidewinder, Rogers.
A 210 average in those 100 at-bats. 1 homer and 4 doubles.
That one swung on and hit right back up the middle. There's the pitcher, Isom, coming through for his team with another back-to-back one-out singles.
He's making it simple, right? Just coming off the bench, you're cold all day, you haven't really moved your legs around, haven't seen a lot of pitching. The boys didn't take batting practice today. They just hit in the cage out in right field. And after being idle for such a long time, Isom does a great job of just serving it into shallow center field. A little off the end of the bat, doesn't matter. Good swing, put on a baseball, and keeps it alive.
First pitch clips Chavez, and 4 pitches after recording the first out of the inning, the bases are juiced for Bradley Gage.
And this is where the 3/4 can kind of come back to bite you in the behind, because it can be really effective creating a lot of arm side run and unorthodox movement on your pitches. But when it doesn't work, it's really hard to hone in on the command.
2, Bradley Gage.
Gage steps in. He was the first Expo to record an RBI not named Gio Chavez with his 2 RBI single in the 6th inning. Changeup is swung on and missed over the top for strike 1. Blues 2 outs away from recording their 6th win of the season and sweeping this weekend series against the Indians and Expos, as Rogers clips the outside, but it's swung on and missed anyways by Bradley Gage. He struck out in the 3rd. Blues pitching have recorded 11 strikeouts in today's game, capped off in the top of the 8th, by Jaden Turner, who threw 1 inning and struck out the side. As there's another one. 12 strikeouts for Blues pitching. First for Rogers.
That slider.
1 out away.
That slider looks really good coming out of the hand of Chase Rogers. He got a couple of good action, a couple of good looks there against Bradley Gage. Both of them swinging. A flying saucer going in and out.
Zane Thornton steps in. He looks at a fastball off the outside for ball 1. Thornton did not play this last year after being a two-way guy. Hasn't played in 2 years. He skipped out on the 23-24 season and then also the 24-25 season after being a two-way guy for the Pirates out in Porterville in the 2022-2023 spring, where he hit .233 with a .301 slugging, and he threw 3 2/3 innings as well. The 1-1 is chopped to 3rd. This might do it. Alves over to 2nd for the easy way, and the Blues get a win. They improve to 6-1 on the summer, sweep the weekend series, and they get it done in dominant fashion today with their 16 runs coming over 6 different innings, where they scored runs, including that gigantic 7-run 5th inning.
There you go, another team dinner at Chuck E. Cheese for the boys lining up on the field. Nice win for the Blues and a good way to pad your record heading into conference play. It's really important in these games where you're playing against teams loaded with high school players and lower class junior college players, lower class meaning freshman and sophomore, to capitalize on those moments. And I think they did so for the most part today. Obviously, there were some lapses, giving up those 12 hits and those 8 runs. The pitching, maybe have to go back to the workshop on that one, but we saw a lot of different arms from Dean Traynor today. He really reached deep in that bag, reaching in 10 arms coming out of the pen for the Blues. And it was just a good opportunity to get a lot of reps today. Today was reps day, I think, for this Blues rotation. But a couple of nice performances from Mason Ashlock and Don Jordan really make me optimistic about San Luis Obispo playing into conference.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you. The Blues losing 12 players who were signed to 2-week contracts today, and all of them were able to get out there for the most part, including a lot of them being pitchers. That's a thing that the Blues struggle with always early and late in the season, is pitching. Today, able to use some of those pitchers that are just here for a couple weeks, let them get some reps in. 10 pitchers, like we mentioned. A really good start from Hunter Hammond. He only threw 1 inning, but it was a good bounce-back inning after his inning and 2/3 where he gave up 5 earned runs his last time out, and then Gallimore, Bagby, Fisher, Reynoso, the list goes on and on. But a good job from the pitching staff all around. Just too many hits given up, but it was all in the later innings. They were able to build a lead and then maintain it later in the innings, later in the game.
Absolutely. It's a small sample size for Hunter Hammond, right? But I think it looked like a good step in the right direction for him, especially after that first outing he had where it didn't quite go his way. Getting those 2 strikeouts in the inning pitch, that's pretty good. And I also liked what I saw from Bagby, too. Hunter Hammond and Bagby were excellent, I think, today. And again, very small sample size from those guys, but Dean Trainor's kind of figuring out who is going to be the person he goes to in that bullpen. He's got a lot of arms to choose from, obviously. He pulled out 10 today, and I think there were still maybe a couple left. You could count on one hand how many arms were left, and there were arms who had already gone, too. So hopefully the Blues can maintain all those bullpen arms. We do know that in the offseason, it was a point of emphasis in terms of recruiting guys to come to the roster. Instead of going hitter first, they went pitcher first. And they stocked up on arms, and hopefully it can propel them into the postseason this year. For now, just a reps day, and they got a good victory over the California Expos.
Yeah, great victory for the Blues. Something maybe to take note in, the Blues have left a runner stranded in 24 straight innings, so you would love to make sure that those runs come across. Today they're able to do that with their 16 runs, the most they've scored all year. But in the meantime, hopefully they can get those runners around. that's going to do it for Nate and I here at Sinsheimer Park. The Blues win it 16-8 on the Central Coast on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. The Blues have 2 games on the road against the Sonoma Stompers on Tuesday and Wednesday. You can catch Nate on the call for both of those. I will be not traveling with the team, finishing up some classes, and then we'll be back here on Friday for our first fireworks games as we take on our first CCL opponent at home. No, like I mentioned, Blues win it 16-8. For Nate Mills, I'm Ryan Giacomini here on the SLO Blues Streaming Network. Have a great rest of your evening.